The kooky and the creepy, the family. All right, party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth. Okay, I bet you're expecting to see the Addams Family.
Fished in.
Okay, we just wanted to let you know that we're making a movie too.
And it's called... All right, excellent promo, Wayne.
Yes, artistic yet accessible to a wide audience.
Right. Hey, do you think we'll win an Academy Award?
Oh, I'm sure we will. Not.
Yeah, they advertised the train pulling into the station movie the way they used to advertise, like, The Exorcist in theaters, where it was like, you'll fucking shit your pants and die if you watch this. You'll fucking throw up so much that you die. You'll be a skeleton because you will barfed up all your body. You will be fucking dead as hell.
Well, they're doing, like, Pink Flamingos, where it's, like, marketed barf bags.
Yes. Or I was thinking about every so often, like when that movie, I think it was called Raw, the cannibal movie, whenever
I've seen that movie.
Or 127 Hours. Anytime there's a movie with like a viscerally gross thing, there's like, they say that at the premiere, someone had to be hospital. You know, like they always do that.
At the Cannes Film Festival, 3 people had a heart attack, and
I think that story
they died from it.
I think that same marketing tactic applied to train leaving station. An entire
arrival of a train at Licio Todd was like 3 people had a fucking heart attack. They should start doing that for every movie.
And they have the director of train arriving at station is like, you, in order to gain admittance, you have to sign a life insurance. You know, it's a real John Goodman and Matinee situation.
Yeah.
Where you got someone posing as a nurse, making you, if you die during this production, you won't sue director of train arriving at station.
Keeping defibrillator paddles on hand for like the screening of like the first Omen is like just in case. But we should do that for our films. We should our dumb comedy films are like Pet Turtles, like a touching dramedy about loss and grief. And it was like, I heard at the first screening of Pet Turtles, like 3 people peed their pants so much that they drowned. It's like, oh shit, oh that's crazy.
I heard that this movie put the director in an early grave.
We actually do have you in an open casket at the premiere.
Yes,
we moved. It shipped around with the film print.
This was Vern's last wish, was to be at.
People always ask.
Screening.
People, I appreciate it, but people ask when Pet Turtles is going to be done, and I gotta tell them the only answer I know, which is posthumously. You know,
over my dead body.
I would love to get it out sooner, but I don't know. It's the second hardest thing I've ever done in my entire fucking life, and it costs a lot of money, and it's hard to do, and I shouldn't have done it. But what can you do?
And then it does pretty okay, and someone's going to talk about another project, and the cycle continues.
Absolutely not.
You know
Never.
how at the end of every movie, it's like, oh, no animals were harmed in the making of this movie? Unless, of course, animals were harmed in the making of the movie. I think every movie at the end should have, like, the most fucked up thing that happened to someone while they were making it.
Yes.
I think it's like the DP got hit by a car, unrelated to production.
I won't.
Mariah got food poisoning from craft services.
I won't say the name of the movie, but I was looking at this movie on IMDb, and the trivia
Oh.
the movie trivia. Did you know that during the production of this movie, the second unit crew found a rattlesnake?
They just, oh my god, the rattlesnake. It was like trying to sneak on set to get into the movie. It wasn't SAG.
That made the movie trivia. The second unit film crew encountered a rattlesnake.
The crew got a frightened and a feared.
Movie trivia. Did you know that Jonathan Taylor Thomas considered going to college in Illinois?
Movie trivia. Did you know that The Grip had a spot that they weren't sure was a rash or not? Movie trivia.
Movie trivia. The director only took this movie because he had a lot of alimony to pay. Movie trivia.
Movie trivia. Did you know that this actor loves gambling and hates paying debts? Movie trivia.
Movie trivia. It was on this film that Crafty had chia seed, peanut butter, yogurt, and it was the first time the art department person had ever had it before.
On day 37 of filming, there was a choice between steamed sea bass or a light soup. Movie trivia. What we're announcing is not much worse than, like, the press cycle for every, like, Marvel movie still, where they, like, announce the tone. They're like, oh, the tone of this one's gonna be moody. And everyone's like, oh, this one's gonna be moody. Oh.
Did you know that someone stole the shooting script for Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, and we had printed it black text on black paper that you had to have special UV glasses in order to, it's all the same. It's all the same. I want to know if they ever encountered a rattlesnake on production of a Marvel movie. I want to know if they ever encountered a rattlesnake.
I want to know if the best boy forgot breather strips that day and felt congested.
Yes, I want.
Mark Ruffalo did not take his Zyrtec that morning. It was a little sniffly throughout production.
Yes, I want like instead of IMDb movie trivia where they talk about like the original draft, I want like IMDb like blinds where they just like. It's reported that this crew member was 15 minutes late this one day. Just like the minutia. I want to know like the day-to-day. It's reported that the production designer on this show. I want to know this stuff. I want to know that stuff next time I look at movie trivia.
I think that's much more interesting. I want to know the minutia of the day-to-day. I don't care if like the director and the actor disagreed about the direction of the character. I want to know.
I want to know, like, I worked on something and the production designer had all these stories about, like, they claimed to have seen Sasquatch. They've claimed to have seen an alien. They've claimed to see multiple ghosts. And those fucking stories were so juicy. I want to read that stuff on IMDb. I want to read that stuff.
I want to know which costume designers think they were abducted by aliens. Regardless of the project they're on, just the ones that hold that belief about themselves.
Yes. I want just day-to-day, boring-ass water cooler stuff that you encounter on a film set. I want to read that. I want to read that stuff. I don't know what the name of this website, that's this idle chit-chat from Moviez. I don't know what the name of this site is, but I want to know this website. Oh, we lost Kevin.
No, I I'm sorry, I am movie triviaing the film that we're going to be talking about later on.
Oh.
And under the trivia section, there was a director cameo where it says, like, Penelope Spheris was in the booth for the shooting of the first episode in the movie, and 48 people found this helpful, and 21 people were like, thumbs down! Don't tell me that! I don't want to know!
I don't want to know this. Oh, you're
Don't
ruining.
tell me that she was in the booth at the studio where they're shooting Wayne's World. Don't tell me that kind of stuff. I don't
My
want to
disbelief.
know.
My
I
disbelief.
wasn't supposed to know.
My disbelief. It was suspended. Ah! They just fucking lose their mind. Just there's 28 people. Just
Like, watching any
committing heinous
Hitchcock
crimes
movie, it
right
was
now.
like, get him out of there! I'm not supposed to see him! He's supposed to be behind the camera! Get him out of there!
and just their mind split open and completely emotionally unzipped whenever they realize the existence of the fourth wall. Just
Wayne Campbell should not be addressing the camera. He should not be having an aside telling me his backstory. Put the wall up. Erect the fourth wall. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
Why is Ferris Bueller talking to me in my living room?
Deadpool should not know that he is in a movie. He should not.
guys, for real, Nicole and I, we are fortunate and lucky, and we are blessed to own a home. And let me tell you, like, when you own a home, it comes all sorts of real problems that we never thought we'd encounter. And I just remember, like, what a nightmare it was when we had our final inspection, and the home inspector made us aware of a fourth wall that was completely open and broken reality, and that how much money that we were going to have to spend on the remodel to replace that fourth wall. It was really hard for us, but
There was
we
a
managed.
boom mic you didn't realize was there.
Yeah, no.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame,
Shame. Shame. As I did like this movie, but learning that Penelope Spheris was in the booth is really gonna change things.
It's really impacting.
I can't go back to this. I'm sorry.
This is my, like, Twilight Zone the movie. This is my, like, no, this tragedy. It's too much. The production was too much. She was in the booth when they were shooting the episode. I can't deal with this.
This is a story that if I don't tell it, it's gonna become an aneurysm in my brain. So I'm so sorry. But
Right.
in the sequel to this movie features
Wayne's World 2.
Aerosmith prominently.
True.
And there's a Aerosmith roller coaster at the Disney park that I used to work at, and the little queue
Rock and
before
roller
the
coaster.
or the rock and roller coaster, and the queue before the roller coaster is a recording studio, and it's made to look like you're in the studio and you're looking at the producer and the band through the window at the little mixing board, and the guy at the mixing board is Ken Marino. Just an early Ken Marino, just before, just like this. I don't know if the state had happened yet, but there's Aerosmith and Ken Marino at the little thing. But it's designed, the little video that plays in that window is designed so that, like, if there's a cast member in the queue there with you, that they can interact with it. And at one point in the video, Steven Tyler goes, "There must be something that we can do. Hey, I love that idea. How about we give you guys backstage passes?" And there's a little pause there for a cast member to say, like, "How about backstage passes?" And Steven Tyler goes, "Yeah, I like that idea." And one time I was riding the Aerosmith roller coaster, and I tried to Rocky Horror Picture show the screen and interact with it because there was no cast member there. But I fucked up the timing, so Steven Tyler's like, "There must be something we can do for these guys." And there's a long pause, and then I realized that's whenever I'm supposed to say the line, and I'm like, "Backstage passes!" And then Steve, "Yeah, I like that idea. Backstage passes." Felt good. Oh, shit.
Backstage passes.
Backstage
You're right.
passes.
I love backstage passes.
So, Aerosmith was a huge band, and I just don't see it. I don't understand it. They have a roller coaster. They have a video game. They're like this.
They had a Skittles commercial.
They got their own rock band or guitar
They got
hero?
their own rock. Them and the Beatles got their own rock bands. They're the focal point of Wayne's World 2, And I don't know. I just maybe it's because they were a little bit before my time, but also the Beatles were before my time. I don't know it. I don't get it. I don't know if
It's
you guys
too
are
many
Aerosmith.
scarves.
Aerosmith
No man should
got-
have that many scarves.
There's a zone of Aerosmith that I do like, and it's not like songs about fucking. It's like I like the song from Armageddon, Don't Want to Miss a Thing.
Oh, yes,
which
yes,
is just like real blown out, like 90s power ballad kind of shit. And I do really love the song Dream On.
Dream
but
On's great.
That song is from before Steven Tyler set his vocal cords on fire or something, just like before he damaged the shit out of them. So it's kind of, he has this like pure, beautiful voice. And I remember being like a young man and learning that like Aerosmith were the people that sang that. And I'm like, what happened?
For the longest time, I was like, maybe whenever I learned that it was Aerosmith, the only thing that like made sense to me is like, it must have been during a time where they had a different vocalist. Like,
Right,
it's the only thing that
makes
made
any
sense.
Because you listen to Dream On and he's like, half my life's in blood.
Yeah.
It's like a beautiful, like soulful voice. And then Aerosmith, like 5 years later, is like, it's just, he fucked up. He fucked up his mouth. Bad.
He fucked up his mouth.
His
Good
hole
vocal
just got
technique is
wrecked in
important,
his throat.
everyone. Steven Tyler, confirmed, does not push from the diaphragm. He sings from the throat and has eradicated his vocal cords because of it.
It's just obliterated.
That's why you should pay me a lot of money to let me teach you vocal lessons. So you don't end up like Steven Tyler.
Yes.
Very rich and famous.
Yeah. Steven Tyler just should have done scales to warm up.
My artist classes where I teach you to be a noble, unsuccessful artist instead of a very popular one.
Yes.
You stick to first principles, and you really, you stuck to the game in proper form and proper technique, and that is the real success, even if you never see any money from it. Yes. You have good formal technique.
The more you plug away and the more you get no money, like that's the mark of being a successful artist.
That's
it's very important. Yes, if you come to the Vern Tooley School of Artistry, I'll teach you to not apply your art to anything that could make money and that could benefit your financial well-being. It's all just working through your own mental health shit, and art that only that looks good to you, that resonates with you, does not resonate with anyone else. And you could find something that would work and that you could put on TeePublic or that you could sell as a sticker, but no, you've got to draw yourself in there.
Afraid not. Afraid not.
Well, thanks for listening, folks.
Thanks for listening. See you next month, because this is, of course, Movies for Babies, and I am one of your hosts, TV's Kevin Lanigan. And
Movies
says,
for
what?
babies, movies for babies. Woo 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 woo. Party on, Kev. Party on, Just.
Party on, Vern.
Party on, indeed.
Who are you guys?
Which Wayne's World person are we? Who's our
just
Wayne?
what's your Christian name to begin the podcast? I said
my name's Vern. Hi, everybody.
I'm Justin, and I'm in an extreme close-up.
Whoa! Okay, so we're here talking about the 1992 SNL spin-off movie, Wayne's World. And I'm gonna say, this is one of those times on this podcast where it's going to be genuinely impossible for me to be objective in any sort of way. Yeah. This is one of my favorite films of all time. This is a deeply formative film for me as a young comedy nerd. I think this movie's a 5-star masterpiece. It's fine if other people don't agree. But it never ceases to delight me. When Vern, kind of watched this movie before we had this episode scheduled, and I was like, oh, I should also just pop it on. And I started it at 12:30 at night. I had to be at work the next morning. And I was like, I'll watch a little bit before bed. And I watched the whole thing. I watched all of Wayne's World, just sitting there, rapt attention. It was great. I love this movie.
This was a formative movie for me. I don't know that I love it as much as Kevin, though it's something that I have watched a whole bunch. Though, I will say, growing up, I was more of a Wayne's World 2 head. It just shook out that we had HBO growing up, and I probably still to this day, but way back when you'd watch HBO the channel, not HBO the streaming service, but HBO the channel, every month there would just be like a docket of 10 movies or whatever that they would show on repeat all month long, as well as their their original programming. And when I was younger, there were very soon after Wayne's World 2 came out, there was just a couple months where that was the hot new movie. That was the movie that you could get if you subscribed to HBO. And I watched Wayne's World 2 a whole bunch as a little kid. I thought that that fight scene, that 80-yard fight scene in Wayne's World 2 was super, super, super funny.
It's funny. The kung fu fight between Wayne and character actor James Hong, the legendary James Hong.
And I watched that a bunch. We had Comedy Central, and Comedy Central, whenever it was kind of still getting off the ground, like South Park was there, and The Daily Show was there, and Chappelle Show was there, but they showed a lot of reruns of 80s and 90s SNL. One I remember laughing very hard at The Daily Show with Jon Stewart whenever Stephen Colbert, back when he was a correspondent on that show, before he was a host of a late night, he was doing some sort of like story on drug abuse in America, and he said, "We here at The Daily Show with Jon Stewart care as much about drug abuse as the next show, an SNL rerun." And I thought that was super funny.
That is funny. That's a funny joke. That's a funny joke. Stephen Colbert.
Stephen Colbert, funny guy.
Wayne's World 2, I don't like it as much as this movie, but I think it's very unfairly maligned. I think people think of Wayne's World 2 as bad, and to me it is in no way bad. It's still very funny. It's still very silly. There's a lot of good gags in there. You got Christopher Walken running around. Come on, you got Christopher Walken running around in Wayne's World 2. I don't know.
For the longest time, I thought there was. My as a little kid, my Mandela effect was that there was a Wayne's World 3. I thought positive there was a Wayne's World 3, and it doesn't exist.
It's an Uber Eats commercial.
It's an Uber Eats commercial.
Yeah.
It's a commercial for Uber Eats where we got our boys back together. But Justin, this was your first time viewing Wayne's World in any way. So I guess I want to know what you knew about this beforehand, and then get your initial blush reaction.
I'd heard of the movie before. I didn't actually know anything about it.
Okay.
No one had ever really talked about this movie with me. I'd never seen it.
Your parents didn't sit you down and be like, "Justin, I want to tell you about Wayne Campbell and Garth Elgar."
I need Justin, you're 14. It's time we had to talk about the Waynes and the Worlds.
It's time that you learned about Cassandra and her band Crucial Taunt.
Yeah. Listen, son, Tia Carrere is very hot.
Yeah,
you
buddy.
really need to understand that she's
gorgeous
one of
woman.
the hottest people alive.
Yeah, one of the hottest people alive, can also sing and play guitar.
Yeah,
and
like an
pretty good
extraordinarily
actor. She's got a lot
talented
going for her.
Of Filipino ancestry. My wife loves Wayne's World. Whenever we went to the Philippines and we were doing karaoke the first night there that we did karaoke, my wife sang Ballroom Blitz, but she did it in the style of Cassandra.
Wow. And it's a good cover.
It's her cover rules. But yes, Tia Carrere is a very attractive woman.
But yeah, I really didn't know this movie at all. Besides just kind of this is a Saturday Night Live movie. This is the movie Mike Myers did before he did Austin Powers, which was my formative Mike Myers experience.
You weren't so I married an axe murderer guy?
You weren't a 54 head? You didn't love Mystery Alaska?
No, neither of those tapes were around my house growing up.
Damn.
So this was my first real exposure to Wayne's World. And I thought it was pretty good. It's one of those movies that I feel like it blew up so much and became so ubiquitous in the comedy landscape that I'd pretty much had heard all of the jokes in it before through just retellings and referencing and all of that. Like, you know, the statement not, statement, slur says what,
Yeah. Do you know Schwing? Where all the kids on the playground going Schwing?
No one said Schwing. Schwing frustrated me.
Schwing frustrated you. You don't like Schwing.
I didn't care for the Schwing.
Schwing.
Yeah, I understand the term, Kevin. I just didn't find it funny.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I liked the murderous diner owner, and then was a little let down to find out they just copy pasted that whole bit from one of their sketches. But like this movie,
that's fine. You can do that.
I know. But that is kind of what this movie felt like. Is I'm watching the movie version of sketches I haven't seen, which is what it is.
I mean It is, but also it very, very much isn't. Like, I haven't seen a ton of the Wayne's World sketches. They're not really like this movie at all. It's just the show, as you might imagine. Like, because it's a Mike Myers SNL character, so they are hosting a talk show.
Yes.
And I can think of maybe one
Mike
Mike Myers SNL character that does not host a talk show.
Is it the kid who's tied to the jungle gym?
Exactly. It is Stephen the Hyper Hypo. But, you know, you had Wayne's World, you had Coffee Talk with Linda Richman, you had Theater Stories, you had Sprockets with Dieter, you had Simon, the little British child who draws drawings in his bathtub, and that's also a talk show. It's just he that was his avenue for comedy.
It's a format he understood.
And the Wayne's World sketches are mostly like top 10 lists. It's like Wayne and Garth counting down top 10 lists, and then someone would pop in.
I've seen a lot of Wayne's World sketches from having watched a lot of 90s SNL as reruns on Comedy Central. There were moments where like they would break out of the studio in like a little film segment, you know, like something that was filmed during the week, a little digital short, if you will. But it was mostly and you're totally right. I'm gonna bring up some fellows, and I regret bringing up these fellows, and I regret to inform you that they will. I regret to inform you that they will be making an appearance later on. But there's these three guys that I'm aware of, the Three Stooges, and and the movie. The Three Stooges movie that came out a couple years ago did have that thing, Justin, that you're talking about, where they constructed a little tiny framework for what a Three Stooges movie could be, and looked everywhere they could to plug in as many classic gags from the original shorts as possible to make it kind of feel like a sketch compilation movie. And I will say there's a little bit of that in this, but
I will give the movie credit. It had more focus than the Three Stooges movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a little
like it has a very
episodic.
Straightforward
It's kind
plot.
of like it does the you know, we call the show Movies for Babies, and it's not that we exclusively watch stuff for like little kids, but like this viewing of Wayne's World, I was like, this is kind of structured like a PBS show. This is kind of structured, like, especially the beginning where they're, like, meeting all the characters. It does kind of feel like these are all the people in your neighborhood.
There's a lot of room to breathe.
Officer Koharski, and, you know, and then Officer Koharski talks about it. It's like, this is kind of structured, like, here are these two innocents, right? That
These two adult children.
Wayne and Garth, yes, adult children who, like, I guess are nominally sort of, like, worn-out party guys, but, like, we never see them drink alcohol.
No,
ever.
They strike me as like either late high school or like early college burnouts. Like,
right, they're definitely, I think, like early 20s.
Yeah, like guys just going nowhere. But
yeah, living in their parents' basement in Aurora, Illinois,
and they have their like public access TV show, and that's kind of their thing. Instead of actually like we don't know what they do for work, like that. None of that factors into what they do.
Well, Wayne has had an extensive series of Joe jobs. He has a big collection of name tags and hairnets.
Yes.
as he likes to cite. But yes, you imagine these guys are kind of working at the burger joint or working somewhere. We're really not concerned with that.
No, it doesn't matter. It's not relevant
over the course of the movie. And then they get $5,000, and that sustains them for the rest of their life, right?
Yes.
At least they get $5,000 from
the
TV
90s
executive.
economy.
We got $5,000. I don't know. I just find this joy. There's just such a wonderful, like, innocent silliness to this movie that I love. I find very infectious. I find it very infectious in the way that, like, most other people I know find, like, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like, so infectious. It was like, it's kind of an innocent silliness. Most of it doesn't really add up to anything.
Yeah.
Like, I am also, a big Austin Powers head, but, like, every gag in Austin Powers is, like, focused on, like, the plot or the character, like, all of it is kind of, like, pushing one of those engines forward, whereas, like, in Wayne's World, they'll just, like, open up a door and there's a bunch of guys being trained for combat, and that will never, come up again.
I always wanted to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll just move on from that. Garth is building a robot, like some fully functional robot that he beats to death with a hammer, and like we're just never gonna acknowledge or talk about that again. It doesn't matter. And that's I don't know. That's what I think is so like beautiful and pure about this movie.
I will say I very much enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed watching it, but I've had this thing where I've had this thing. Some people refer to it as a mental health crisis, but I've had this thing, and through this thing, I've been going through and exploring a lot of the media that kind of like made me, the media that I kind of like grew up with. Went through and watched a lot of The Simpsons. Went through and watched a lot of like clips of Conan O'Brien and Jay Leno, and the Space Ghost marathon that happened this weekend or this last weekend while we were recording for the 30th anniversary of Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and been going through and revisiting all this. And sometimes when you go through and you revisit something from your youth, it does not hold up the same way, or it plays differently than you remember it. And sometimes it's a huge bummer. Sometimes it plays better. I remember as a child loving the movie Indian in the Cupboard. That's the name of the movie.
Directed by Frank Oz.
Frank Oz. And then whenever I watched it as an adult, didn't scratch the same itch. But I watching Wayne's World this most recent time, it kind of and bear with me, it kind of bothered me. And I was thinking about how through the circumstances of my upbringing, and I'm not going to get too TMI here, but I was my folks kind of like at a certain point just totally checked out, and our TV became at least for me, my parent. And I was also thinking about how like the first day of kindergarten, I had a meltdown. I was not prepared to be in that environment, and I was so scared and so uncomfortable. And I said something that made the class laugh, and I thought, okay, do that every day for the rest of your life, and you'll be fine. And
chronic class clowning.
Chronic class clowning, and we suspect that I might be a big fan of trains, and I wonder. I was thinking about it when I was watching this movie, how much of my upbringing was like watching this comedy stuff because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to be funny. That's my character. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's supposed to be funny, and I was watching a lot of stuff, to like kind of like learn how to act, to learn how to like behave in public. And I was thinking about the guy whose mug is on the cover of our other show, Here's Something, and I was thinking about like how I watched a lot of Jay Leno, and I was thinking about like how him in particular was very mean. If you watched any Tonight Show from like during the Clinton Lewinsky scandal, you hear
Cruel
this, like,
man.
just the meanest
Nastiest
jokes.
shit you've
Callous.
ever
Just a nasty. And I was thinking about like SNL and 90s Conan and things like South Park and The Simpsons, and how much so many of those jokes are like, look at how insane and weird everyone around our main characters are. You know what I mean? And like they're being different is a source of ridicule, and that's what like a lot of comedy was back in the day. Case in point, another 90s SNL movie that I watched, unfortunately, a whole bunch. It's Pat. Just mean stuff. And I was when I was watching Wayne's World, I was kind of like troubled by this. I was kind of troubled by like, God, I didn't realize all this stuff, and then something happens in the movie, and it's Wayne's ex-girlfriend, as played by Laura Flynn Boyle. She's riding her bike.
A tender-handed performance. Just a really
delicate,
just aching with grace and sincerity.
Such a delicate. She's
very deep dimensionality. There's a lot of clear interiority to this character.
Just treated with the utmost precision, just like a white glove treatment of this character. And I was watching her, and she says, "Hi, Wayne," and then she crashes her bicycle into a car and lands on the hood of the car. And it's
that killed me though.
And she's already wearing a neck brace from falling through a glass
through a skylight.
Through a skylight. And I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, whenever we watch like a little Abner, I've got Justin in the back of my mind the entire time. When we watch a Wayne's World, I've got Kevin in my mind the entire time. And, I think about you guys whenever we watch these movies that you recommend.
I got like my feet kicked up, but I'm just like hanging out on the edge of the bed.
And I'm just perched on your shoulder like one of those devils.
Yes.
Justin's like Salacious Crumb and going like,
yes. But whenever I watch one of these movies that you guys recommend, I try to think about you guys. I have you guys in my mind, just, thinking like, how does this reflect the person as I know? And whenever I saw Wayne's ex-girlfriend just crash into the car, and
just eat hood,
just eat shit, just fucking eat shit. I thought, and while I'm still like processing just like my own childhood and how I behaved in a former life and how this was influenced by 90s comedy, I thought back to something my dear friend Kevin said to me whenever we were in a group chat off mic. And I can tell this story if you guys want, or if you guys think I should. But we were having a group chat, and I was telling you guys about my health teacher in high school who said, "Look at the baby smoke."
Look at the baby smoke.
I had a health class and in high school, and this class was teaching about the dangers of smoking, and I had a teacher who, this is a real life story, this is a real life thing that happened to me. I had a teacher who brought in, whenever the class on the dangers of smoking, brought in this apparatus, and this apparatus was a baby's head, like a baby doll head, attached to some hoses and a little pump and a little sponge. And he put this little sponge in a tube inside this glass bottle, and he had his hand holding the pump, and he put a cigarette in the baby doll's mouth and lit the cigarette. And he starts pumping, and this baby doll, this is a true story, and he starts pumping, and this baby doll starts smoking the cigarette. And you see this little like sponge inside this jar get more and more yellow, and it's supposed to be like, this is what's happening to your lungs when you smoke.
Right.
And and we're all kind of like, hey, should we have a lit cigarette inside this public school? Should we have a
We're
cigarette
given a classroom secondhand
in a classroom?
smoke.
Should we have this? And anytime we would voice any kind of concern, ask any question, our teacher would say, "All right, look at the baby smoke. Look at the baby smoke." And this guy had been teaching this class for a long time, and he used this apparatus so much that, like, he quote unquote like got good at it. And he's like, "You guys want to see me blow a smoke ring?" And he started blowing smoke rings with this baby doll head, right? And he keeps saying, like, "Look at the baby smoke, look at the baby smoke."
Vape tricks with the baby.
Doing vape tricks with this, like, baby doll head.
Watch
And
me
it's
rip
like-
some cotton on this baby.
And, like, I don't know how many of our listeners, I don't know how many of the people in this chat, in this record session right now have seen, like, Mystics of Bali, but there's this, like, floating head with all these, like, goo, like, floating body with all this goo stuff coming out of it. And that's kind of what this baby doll apparatus looks like. This is baby doll head with a puffing cigarette and all these tubes coming out of it. And it keeps saying, "Look at the baby smoke, look at the baby smoke." And
Want to see me sign my own name?
want to see me sign my own name and look, blow
Blows
smoke
his
rings. And
initials.
my dear friend Kevin said something that was very comforting to me, and he may not have known it. I don't think he was intending to comfort me, but he said something very comforting to me, which was like, "Vernon, seems like you really grew up with a lot of different characters." And whenever I saw Laura Flynn Boyle just fucking eat shit while watching Wayne's World, and while I was thinking about, like, how, like, problematic 90s comedy has influenced my upbringing and turned me into a shit heel, I was Kevin saying, "Wow, you had a lot of interesting characters," and you're like, brought me this great sense of peace. I'm like, well, no wonder, like, things like South Park and things like The Simpsons and Family Guy, like, fit so well, because I did have people that would say, like, "Look at the baby smoke" in my life.
Look at the baby smoke, and your neighbor Quagmire, who was always trying to sleep with your wife Lois, you know,
and
really
then
affects a man's
You had an
upbringing.
annoyingly liberal dog.
Yes, and this story, we're landing the plane on this story, but I felt some sort of way after watching Wayne's World. Still enjoyed the movie, but I felt some sort of way, and there was a sense of peace that came from, like, Kevin saying this line, me thinking about it. But then afterwards, my wife comes home, and she says, "Hey, do you want to go to Dollar Tree?" And I say, "Yes, let's go to Dollar Tree." And I go out with my wife, and we're just walking around, and we just happen to be near the kids aisle, the same Dollar Tree that us three have gotten props for different SLC specials. And there's this family in this aisle, and this kid is looking all over the aisles, and then all of a sudden I hear his parent say, and this is an exact quote, "No goofy goo, no more goofy goo." And the kid says, "What?" And the man says, "No more goofy goo." And he says, I'm just want to see where it's at." And the dad says, "It doesn't matter where it's at. No more goofy goo. If I say no more goofy goo, it doesn't matter where it's at." And what I got from this story, I guess the kid wanted to play with some goofy goo, wanted to buy some goofy goo.
Right,
which is
yeah, of
apparently-
course.
Wait,
That's
apparently
it's
a
like what?
product.
Is it like the fart slime in a jar?
little slime, yeah.
I think it's like a fart slime or a Nickelodeon gag or something. But this
Some
man...
phloem.
I went my 34 years on this planet without hearing the expression goofy goo, and then suddenly I was in an environment where I heard it like 17 times in like 5 minutes, and I kept hearing it, like, "No more goofy goo, no more goofy goo," and it just reinforced what Kevin said earlier about the cartoon characters, and it ran like
flock to you.
and I go, okay, cool, like. The good news is like, yes, I may be insane, but also I'm surrounded by insane people.
Yeah, what other
So
option
is
did you have
everyone
but to
else.
become insane? Yeah.
And so
come
is everyone
here.
else.
They
You're
all
right,
come
Justin. You're right, but this weekend, ever since we watched Wayne's World, my wife and I have been saying "no more goofy goo" a whole bunch, and I just wanted to share that with you. And
thank you. Beautiful, beautiful story. Story time with Vern.
Well, like,
But also, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Vernon. I'll ask my question.
Oh, mine is.
Is it about Goofy Goo?
Mine
No.
is not about Goofy Goo. So
It's about
if
the
you have any
topic
questions
at
about,
hand, which is not
Oh,
about
goofy
the
okay.
goo.
topic.
Oh,
Okay.
wonderful.
So then, what you got, Jest? What you got?
Oh, well, like, Kevin, where were you at when this when this movie like came into yours?
Of course.
Because like this is like, as you've said, a like foundational movie for you, and I very much got that sense from watching it. Like I could very much see like
It feels like
just
Kevin
kind of
humor.
its jokes and its like tone like creeping into like your comedic sensibilities. So like
Right,
I don't know,
almost
where was
without
that
me,
seed
like-
planted?
Yeah, just one of those things where you don't even realize it, and then you like revisit it, and you're like, I think I took a lot from old Wayne's World over here. But yeah, so the reason that this like jumped way up from not being on my like prospective movies for Babies list to being the one that like I was like we need to cover this now was because we recovered Holy Grail a few episodes ago, and just timeline wise, those movies are inextricably linked in my mind of like the approximate point where I first got my paws on them. So I'm gonna say it was like 11 or 12 even, so not even something I'm watching as I'm like 7 years old or anything like that.
But like early puberty.
Early puberty. I remember one summer at summer school not being like we flunked out. My school had this like weird program where like if you went to summer school in lower grades, it was like general education. In like high school, it was like you take one class that you don't have to take like the rest of the year, so you can just knock out like one entire class in like a few weeks of the summer. And they'd also give you like $100 like prepaid debit card or something like that.
My
So I did it
wife
every summer.
My wife did that same thing that you're talking about, and that's how
Yeah.
she bought a Nintendo 64.
Exactly. It was like,
Yeah.
what a perfect solution for a child, especially one who's like not expressly happy at home. And I'm like, great, I'll go to summer school, see some of my friends, and I'll get
Yeah.
$100. You
There
know what I
you
mean?
go.
It's what a great deal. But
a
I
nice
just remember
program.
like one of those summer schools, I was just like, me and my little gaggle of friends were just like obsessed with these two movies, Holy Grail and Wayne's World, two movies that had come out, you know, many decades before.
Yeah.
But just like we got there, I remember one teacher got mad at me for quoting Wayne's World. He was like, you can't quote a movie that came out before you were born. And I was like,
shut
I don't
up.
agree with this rule, sir.
And
I
course, Kevin, please, the context, the teacher walked in the room and you said swing.
Yeah, I said swing.
Yeah,
I
okay,
said, I called my teacher Magically Babelicious, and he didn't like that very much. I said if my president were a teacher, he'd be Abraham Lincoln, and he didn't care for that very much.
Well, no, you asked your teacher if he ever thought it was hot when Bugs Bunny put on a dress.
And played a girl bunny.
And that is something that Kevin would find attractive.
Yes.
Listen, bud, I got my collection of Looney Tunes DVDs over there. If you need any further proof, I'm looking at fucking 6 volumes of Looney Tunes cartoons. But yeah, so there's that, and like this, and I feel like yeah, it's my collection of Playboys. You're gonna find that like under my bed. I'm gonna leave those Looney Tunes DVDs in the woods. So some kid
He opens
crank
this
off.
magazine and it's Bugs Bunny in a dress, but the dress is coming off. And it's like,
Right.
Kevin, that's what Bugs Bunny looks like normally. He normally walks around nude.
He's a naked rabbit, but I'm like, but there's something about like it being revealed to me. You know?
Right,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
No, it's because there's something covered, there's something to be discovered.
That's exactly right, Justin. That's exactly right. Leave something to the imagination.
Yes.
Kids. But yeah, so this, I think, I can't remember exactly where. I was like probably already familiar with into Austin Powers at this point. That just would make sense timeline wise. But and I sure do, you know, love and enjoy some Austin Powers movies. I revisited those 3 for the first time in a long time recently. Had a great time. But it just, Wayne's World sunk its teeth in me in a way that I just like couldn't figure out. I think it's the combination of Myers, who's obviously a comedy hero of mine, but also Carvey.
Yeah.
I was a huge Dana Carvey head. I like played his SNL Best of DVD like over and over again. I think because these two guys, because I'd like grown up on like Adam Sandler, and of course I loved Adam Sandler. What am I made of stone? You know, but like Adam Sandler was like doing one thing. And honestly, like the special features on DVDs of Adam Sandler movies was like how I learned that Saturday Night Live existed. I just remember there was this shitty set of special features on like the Little Nicky DVD where there were like biographies of all the cast members that you had to read. Like it would pull it up just like a big sheet of text
Boy, that
was
early
on-
DVD
on your
experiences.
TV.
pre-Wikipedia. Like before
Yeah.
I had
Because
access to
I didn't have
Wikipedia.
internet. I didn't have
Pre-IMDb.
cable.
Yeah.
I had no internet. I had no cable. I had no way of like accidentally stumbling on information like this. And I just like kept reading. I'm like, okay, Adam Sandler and like Kevin Nealon, like this SNL thing keeps coming up. Like, what's this? What is this all about? And like starting to become obsessed with that area, with that zone, and starting to watch it like live on Saturday nights, and becoming obsessed with that. But there was something about Myers and Carvey because they did crazy characters and crazy voices and like really transformed themselves. And maybe there was something about like young Kevin Lanigan that like didn't want to be himself and like would rather be, you know, like
I
a
can
crazy
just
kooky
be
character, if you
whoever
can
I wanna
imagine.
be.
Exactly. I can be Austin Powers. I can be Wayne. I can do all of Dana Carvey's impressions of figures who were famous before I was born.
The
you know?
person,
Like,
the person
Young
on this,
Kevin had a killer HW impression.
the
Not
person
gonna.
who's the person who's on this record who's friends with the captain really resonates with what you just.
yeah, could you imagine like wanting to develop a separate character for yourself? Maybe put the word TVs in front of your name so it almost gives you like a different persona to act under, right? Who could think of something like that?
Yeah.
That would be crazy if that were to happen. And so, yeah, so these guys like came to really, really be important as like a comedic foundation. I fucking loved Master of Disguise. Dana Carvey's starring vehicle. I fucking loved Cat in the Hat. Like when that came out, I was just all about it. I thought Mike Myers was the funniest fucking guy in the world.
The Cat in the Hat being movie trivia. The Cat in the Hat being a make good.
Yeah, Mike Myers was basically forced to do it under penalty of law because they were about to shoot or were already starting to shoot the Sprockets movie, another SNL spin-off movie. That would have been a Universal picture because NBC is owned by Universal. This has always been a very strange idea to me because Mike Myers left SNL in like 93. So they were shooting like a Sprockets movie like 10 years after he was on Saturday Night. Like it's what a wild thing to try and do. But I really want to talk a lot about Myers. Obviously we have to, but I have a lot of thoughts on him as like a man, as a creative force. But like
I'm so
his
sorry.
instinct. No, go ahead, please.
I just movie trivia. The Sprockets movie written by Mike Myers, and what had happened is he went to Universal and he's like, I don't want to do this because the script is bad. And it's like, well, he wrote it. Like he's
You could make it good, Mike.
You could make it, but also I don't know how much runway there is on a Sprockets movie.
That's always been another of my questions. It was like, even of like your character, I just don't think there's like a lot of grapes on that vine, man. Like a whole Sprocket, like a weird German expressionistic talk show, and like I'm gonna like watch that for a whole movie. I guess that thought also exists for Wayne's World, right?
Yeah.
Of like, oh, these like two silly guys. You're gonna make a whole movie out of these two silly guys who have a public access show in their basement, and they made a 5-star masterpiece out of it. But that's the thing about Mike. Mike Myers, we're close. I call him Mike. That's the thing about Mike Myers is that like on paper, he has the weirdest, worst instincts in the world, but for a while, his instincts were bulletproof.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, the idea of turning Wayne's World into not one, but 2 movies is such a, like, poppycock, stupid idea. And like, oh, who's going to direct the Wayne's World movie? Is it going to be, like, an SNL guy? Is it going to be, like, a comedy director? No, I'm going to get an underground documentarian who made 3 famous documentaries about the punk scene in Los Angeles. Because to Mike Myers, the music element of Wayne's World is more important than the comedy. Like, these ideas that make no sense on their face.
And it does come through in
like,
the movie in that, like, the concert scenes are the best shot ones.
Are incredible.
They look the best.
And listen, I got a lot more to say about director Penelope Spheris as well. I've been doing my homework for this episode. But
That was something that really resonated with. There's 2 things that you just said that resonated with me, and that was, first off, like, Lorne Michaels. I don't know. There was a point, and maybe that point's still happening, where Mark. Oh my God, where
Mark Myers.
Lorne Michaels was really adept at spotting talent that you wouldn't like. He was the one who thought like, who'd be a good person to replace David Letterman's talk show? This writer that I have on SNL, Conan O'Brien. And everyone was like, we don't see
what are
it.
you talking about?
And
Yeah,
Conan, and like, absolutely the right call. And like, from what I read, it was Lorne who really pushed for like Penelope Spheris to direct the Wayne's World movie.
Wow.
And again, like, maybe an unusual choice, but I will say this, like, it just so happened that so many of my friends here where I live now are musicians, and I find myself frequently going to shows here in Utah, and I find myself a weird part of the music scene, and I will say that like watching Wayne's World and watching Wayne and Garth show up at these clubs, talk with an actor who's making a second guest appearance on this show, Meatloaf, previously the bus driver in Spice World. I was like,
who they have that great back and forth where he's like, who's playing? Oh, the Jolly Green Giants and the Shitty Beatles. It was like, the Shitty Beatles, are they any good? They suck. Oh, it's not just a clever name.
But that whole all that stuff with the shows and Cassandra, like that all felt so genuine as someone who like goes to shows and as someone who's friends with all these different musicians and different artists, like that felt so legit. And I don't think that like, I don't know that Mike Myers and Dana Carvey necessarily brought that to the table. I think that was all Penelope. You know what I mean? So
there's a strong authenticity to this movie.
Yes.
Authenticity. Like the way they flesh out like Aurora, Illinois, as just this like, just this kind of spread out suburb where everyone's just kind of driving around. Like they have a cute little like late night donut shop. They have their clubs. Like it feels like for the little we see of it, it feels very lived in and realized.
Yes. Yeah, Aurora, Illinois weirdly feels like, oh yeah, I want to go like hang out there. I want to go to Stan Makita's Donuts, like the hockey themed donut shop,
which is a very Mike Myers joke.
Oh, 100%. Mike Myers loves hockey more than fucking anything in the world. His wife is in this movie at the donut shop like as a server, and she's wearing like a Chicago Blackhawks jersey, and I'm like, Mike used that as a sexual aid, like that really.
The jersey stays on tonight.
Exactly.
Lights off, jersey on.
But like Mike Myers said, I'm going to do a spy, like a British spy spoof, but it's not really a James Bond riff. I'm going to riff on 60s movies like In Like Flynn and Modesty Blaze.
Well, yeah, no, he's gonna he riffs the 60s James Bond knockoffs.
I'm going to riff A Hard Day's Night in my like a British spy spoof, and not only is this going to work, it's going to be a massive franchise. I'm going to replace my dead friend Chris Farley as the voice of Shrek. I'm going to record all those lines in like basically my normal accent, and then well into animation I'm going to go to Jeffrey Katzenberg and say, I think Shrek should be Scottish, we need to do it over.
Yeah.
And he was right. Like, for, like, as much as his ideas, like, don't make sense to the rest of us, like, you cannot argue with the results. He was accomplishing things. His beautiful mind was just, like, if you got on board for a while, he just had the ticket. For every so often, an artist just, like, slides right into the pocket and they can do no wrong. And Mike had that for, like, 10 years.
Yeah, a full decade.
I was thinking about him. I was thinking about Mike last night when I watched Rock Show, the concert film starring Paul McCartney and Wings.
Yes.
And I'll admit it. I've been a Beatles guy my whole life, for a big chunk of my whole life, but I've not always been...
Oh my God, he admitted.
Oh my God, he admitted. But I've not always been a Paul guy. And I've been Beatles Get Back was very nice because it helped me warm up to Paul, and I realized the thing that I've not always been, like the thing that kept me from being a Paul guy, is it's a con, but it's also a pro. Like, you watch Beatles Get Back, you listen to stories about the Beatles, you listen to stories about like them in the studio, and you realize like this Paul guy, he fucking cares a lot. And I think and Penelope Spheris and Mike Myers had a lot of difficulty on this movie, so much so that they did not work together in Wayne's World 2. Wayne's World 2 ended up being directed by movie trivia, the guy who got fired from Ace Ventura 2, who did not get along with Jim Carrey. He got fired from Ace Ventura 2 for not getting along with Jim Carrey, and suddenly he was available, and then they're like, all right, Wayne's World 2, it's yours.
Wow.
But and Dana Carvey and Mike Myers have had a historically like icy relationship.
They had a big falling out. They ended up suing each other. It was like a whole thing. But I'm glad they seem to have patched it up, at least in the public eye.
At least enough to work
later.
together in a professional capacity.
Yes.
On an Uber Eats commercial or present at the 2019 Oscars. Yeah, it's like every so often they'll still like
SNL 40th anniversary special or whatever. Right. And then, of course, there's that story that we just told about Sprockets and Mike Myers saying, hey, this script sucks. I don't want to do it. And like it resulting in legal action. It appears as though like Mike Myers cares a lot. He seems like a Paul McCartney where he just really fucking cares a lot. And, like...
He's very particular because he wants it to be good. He wants it to be as good as he can be, as much as he understands it can be.
But also, when we see uncut Mike Myers, we get the Pentaveret.
The Pentaveret was a movie script that Netflix was like, we'll let you make it if you make it 10 hours longer. And he was like, all right, like no one else is letting me make that. Like the guy who was once on top of the world for character comedy being like the bravest thing you can do in a movie comedy context is like, no, I can sustain an entire movie as like a wacky character with a funny voice and a funny affectation. Right. It's much easier to just play yourself.
But also the Pentaveret has the weakness of, I can not only do character comedy for one character, I can do it for 6 different characters, 5 of whom are mostly riffing with each other.
Yeah, it's a clumps, and like obviously the Austin, it's a clumps.
We got a clump.
The fatties fart too.
The Austin Powers movies do gradually move in that direction. By the last movie, he's playing 4 different characters with 4 wild accents and costume changes, and I do think like the movies kind of become increasingly unmoored because of this, like because it's just increasingly Mike Myers. Not allowing in the insanity of others, like not letting in the beautiful insanity of a Penelope Spheris, and instead it just being kind of like the Mike Myers.
Well,
or Dana Carvey.
And also part of just like what makes Dr. Evil work as a character is that he has a Frau Farbissina, that he has a Scott Evil, and I don't think that like exactly like having
Goldmember does not have the same anchor to nothing to play off of. Goldmember exists in Goldmember space.
Yes, to have someone there to riff off of who is a different human being, who has different sensibilities.
And people like Seth Green or Mindy Sterling or even like Robert Wagner or Rob Lowe, like any of the other people that enter that sphere in the Austin Powers movies are like, well, this is a person with like a perspective, like probably a pretty intelligent performer, and like, but by the time you get to Goldmember, there's no one to ask like Mike Myers a question. It's like, okay, so he's Dutch. He roller skates. He's so flexible. He can put his legs up by his head. He eats his own skin. Like, there's no one to go like, are you sure about this one?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure about Guru tugging my Buddha in The Love Guru? Are you sure?
I think at this point it's been long enough. I think we have to kind of forgive Mike Myers for Love Guru, because that movie was clearly part of his grieving process. And was it a horrifically expensive way to grieve? Yes.
Sure.
Was it necessary? I hope so. I
Yes,
hope he
Mike
got
Myers,
some closure out of doing
grieving
it.
the loss of his parents, legitimately like went into like a spiritual sort of place and started hanging out with Deepak Chopra and like learning the teachings of Deepak Chopra. And so the Love Guru, according to Mike Myers, is like his kind of love letter to like the teachings of Deepak Chopra. And it makes sense to Mike Myers. You know, I've never actually seen the Love Guru. No Time Like the Present, I suppose. Why not? One day, just fire it on.
It's so, like, I'm bringing up the Beatles again. I'm sorry.
Choo choo.
Like, all four of those guys talk about, like, their time in India, and, like, they talk about, like, how good it was for them creatively, and how it seems like it was good for them as people, but also, like, John Lennon came out of that, like, having written, like, a really nasty, mean song about the Maharishi, and then realized, George Harrison was like, you can't release this, and so they changed it to Sexy Sadie. And, like,
The Maharaja of Bukaji.
It's everyone who came out of that spiritual retreat in India during that time seems like they came out as better people, except for Mike Love. And I don't understand with the Love Guru and with the Sexy Sadie song, just like, yes, finding spirituality helped us heal, but also would make a very crude, like, piece of art to honor that experience.
Like,
okay.
No one ever said. Here's something: meditation helps you process things. It does not make you a better person, objectively.
This is true. It's, you have to take from the meditation and from the learning and apply that stuff to your life to be better, and it doesn't work for everybody. Did Kevin die? Is that what just happened? Did we just lose Kevin? I think it got too Wayne's Worldy for Kevin, and we lost him.
I'm sorry. Recording a podcast during seasonal allergy during like the height of seasonal allergies,
yes, of
I'm
course.
just gonna have to like run away from the computer every few minutes
Right.
to like
No.
chug something or
Leave it in, Kevin. Leave
blast
the
something.
leave in all the audio of you clearing your tubes.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful, crisp body.
We went on a bike ride before I started recording, and my wife would not let me go upstairs until I took a Zyrtec. So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
It's awful. I just have really bad seasonal allergies, and so like this exact point in the year, I'm suffering, but I persevere for my art, for my.
It's
for
noble,
my friends.
Christ-like, almost.
Yeah, exactly. Put me on the cross, baby.
Yeah.
But artists suffer for their art, and that's what happens. Sometimes making a movie can be kind of a tough endeavor. But may I aside again about director Penelope Spheris, because I've kind of been doing some homework. It's something I've long been curious about. Like
I've seen that.
What else has she gotten up to? And I wasn't able to watch as much as I would have liked, but she was a very interesting choice for this. So like before Wayne's World, because I think there's two very distinct periods of her career: pre-Wayne's World and post-Wayne's World. Pre-Wayne's World, she's like a very interesting sort of like outsider artist. She did these 3 incredible documentaries called The Decline of Western Civilization. The first one is about the LA punk scene in like the early 80s, and you get to see lots of little like that character actor Lee Ving from like Clue, like he's the lead singer of one of the bands and things like that. You get a really just like great portrait of the scene and all these different things, but like she refuses to have like an aggrandizing, mythologizing lens on like these musicians and their fans. Like she is very, very acknowledging of the big flaws in this culture, and like specifically the way everyone involved, bands and fans, like treat any of the women allowed in this scene, is just like she never lets it go. Or like in part 2, the metal years, which is like later in the 80s, and you start getting like literally all these bands like right before they explode, like Aerosmith, like Ozzy Osbourne, like all these different people are making these appearances in these and there's some shit in part 2 that is just like harrowing. The things that like people will admit to on camera and like say directly into the camera, and it's awful. She has like a moment where she like the documentary is a series of questions of her asking like these different people who are bragging about all the unprotected sex they're having. So she's like, "So do you think about AIDS at all?" And they're just like, no. It's harrowing. And then part 3 is almost all about the fans of punk music, and this one's like in the early 90s, so like literally a decade after it began. And like essentially like the homeless punk teens of Los Angeles who were like intentionally homeless as part of the punk movement. And it's pretty scathing, but I think all 3 of them are absolutely worth watching. Part 3 is a fun, at the end of a movie where like before the credits, it's like they do the little placard of like, and here's what happened to this person. The ending of Decline of Western Civilization Part 3 is fun because you get to see which interview subjects killed other interview subjects from the movie.
Oh,
fun. It's very fun. And Wayne's World is not Penelope's first fiction film. She does like 3 or 4 before Wayne's World, but they're all like about weirdos on the fringes of society. They're all like The Boys Next Door or Suburbia or Dudes with John Cryer, like these weirdo movies on the outsides of the fringes of society. And when you look at it that way, like the tone is totally different, but I'm like, I do kind of see like how you squint and see this person would be good for Wayne's World. Like you do, like the tone is completely different, but like just like the perspective is all there. And then post Wayne's World, she's a silly goose. She makes like Black Sheep with Chris Farley and David Spade, Little Rascals, the Beverly Hillbillies movie, that Vern's favorite movie, Beverly Hillbillies.
It's one that I think about a lot whenever I think about like what both my sister and I, we fucking loved the Little Rascals movie.
I did too. I loved it growing up.
That the 2 fish hooks getting connected underneath the dock, and they're both going back and forth going whoa. And of course, everyone talks about Home Alone 2. No one ever talks about Little Rascals, but it's one of those movies that's harder to watch now because of a Trump cameo.
That's true.
But also, there's something about Beverly Hillbillies. I loved that movie growing up, and I watched it somewhat recently, and it's a movie I think about a lot. Weirdly,
pick it for the show,
and I think about it's going to happen one of these days. We'll bring Jim Varney back.
That'd be
an episode
fun.
of our show, but
finally get to talk about Diedrich Bader. The world has been waiting for us to weigh in on Diedrich Bader.
We need the deets on Deet.
But this is a true story. Movie trivia. The reason for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back having both a monkey and Diedrich Bader is because Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier rented the Beverly Hillbillies movie. And they both like the monkey and Diedrich Bader.
There you go.
Why both of those?
I mean, this movie has Lily Tomlin and Dolly Parton. They are one Jane Fonda away from a 9 to 5 2 in Beverly Hillbillies. Cloris Leachman, Leah Thompson, Rob Schneider. This sounds great. Vern, pick this one day. Not forcing you to do nothing you don't want to do, but I think we got
We'd have a good time.
Podverly Hillbillies.
One of these days we'll listen to a story about a man named Mary.
But yeah, she does, stuff with like a Wayans brother and a David Spade. She kind of becomes like a silly comedy director after Wayne's World is a fucking massive, huge success. It's shocking how big this movie was because like that's not something that usually happened for SNL movies. Like Blues Brothers was obviously a big success, but like It's Pat, The Ladies Man, Superstar, like these are not movies we think of as like blowing up the box office. MacGruber.
I remember, I don't think it did well, but I remember Coneheads having a big, that being, I had a lot of family who was super into Coneheads, and I remember watching that a whole bunch.
I remember seeing Coneheads in the rental store.
There is no Coneheads 2.
Oh, okay. I don't think Coneheads did very well, but I remember that taking up having a presence in my childhood.
Coneheads, I remember being like the rare times one of my parents would like pick out a movie for me to rent. Like, I think, based on things that I know about you, child, like you would like this one. And I remember Coneheads being handed to me and it just being the most like mystifying, confusing thing. I remember just not being able to make fucking heads or tails of fucking Coneheads. Baffling a young Kevin. Just like, why do they keep saying they're from France? I don't understand.
Oh,
I don't understand.
Gotcha.
Who are these people?
Okay.
What is the plot? I just remember it really not tickling my funny bone particularly. But I have not revisited it in probably over 20 years.
Well, I fucking loved Tommy Boy. I
Love
loved
Tommy Boy.
And so there was a period of time where, like, if I could get my hands on a Chris Farley or a David Spade thing, I would watch it. And that window of time was very brief because Tommy Boy is like nothing touches Tommy Boy. Not even, Black Sheep, famously, also by Penelope Spheres.
Not good. Not her fault, I don't
not
think.
Not a popular movie.
Not particularly good.
Not super good.
Is Tommy Boy the one about
so I watched,
a political campaign?
No, Tommy Boy.
That's you're thinking of
I
Black
haven't
Sheep.
seen either.
Tommy Boy is the head of Callahan Auto Parts dies, but his son is an idiot.
And has to take over and make up sales.
Kind of like a Billy Madison.
I was about to
movie.
say, it
Just
sounds like a
we have
proto-Madison.
They came out around the same time. Billy Madison, of course, also featuring Chris Farley. Tommy Boy, I revisited that during the pandemic, having not seen it in a long time. And, like, there's parts of it that I didn't think as funny, or were as funny as I did when I was, like, 13. But, like, there's just, like, a real sweetness to that movie. And, like, there's some legitimately, like, good directing choices. Ooh. There's a shot after Brian Dennehy dies. And, like, at the party and everyone's, like, looking down on him as he's, like, having a heart attack. And then, like, there's a match cut to, like, all of them looking down on his, like, funeral. And, like, the camera and I was like, you just don't expect filmmaking like that in a movie like Tommy Boy. You just really don't expect, like, an elegant match cut like that. Peter Segal really pulled out all the stops when he directed Tommy Boy.
Put in some effort.
He did. Peter Segal being one of the Sandler cronies who, like, usually shows a little bit more effort than some of the others.
Yeah.
But that's what you got. I don't know. This movie's great. Tia Carrere, we already brought it up. I think she fucking owns bones. She rules in this movie.
Rob Lowe kind of plays the same character he always does.
But I do think he's fucking great. I really... Rob Lowe sucks. Rob Lowe sucks.
Yeah.
Is really fucking good in this movie. And in Austin Powers 2, where he does a dead-on Robert Wagner impression. But just, like, he's really good at exactly what he's being asked to do here, and he's playing it up in a really charming, smarmy, memorable way.
Yeah.
Brian Doyle Murray, of course, everyone's favorite. Doyle Murray.
Love me. My second favorite, Murray.
Probably my second favorite Murray brother, no offense to Joel. I like Joel fine. He's a good workman sort of character actor type guy. You can see the Murray in, like, Brian Doyle. Like, I'm like, yeah, I see Bill in here in, like, the brow, kind of like this, the Domino mask zone, the Lone Ranger mask zone. I'm like, that's Bill.
He's got deep eyes.
He's got the deep eyes that you need in a Murray.
Yeah.
But
it shows a well-bred Murray.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the supporting cast of this movie. Love the one who keeps telling people that he loves them. The one who's also in Point Break. I don't know. I'm sorry, boys. I just can't be objective. I just love this little movie. Ed O'Neill hitting fucking 95 mile an hour fastballs in this movie.
Speaking of problematic comedies that I loved as a child, Married with Children.
Those videos I keep sending you on Instagram, clips of Married with Children.
Yes. And people like Kevin, you're gonna have to help me. You've got a bigger vocabulary than I do. People being, I want to say people being very precious, but I don't think that's the right terminology. People feeling a certain way about Al Bundy not wanting to have sex with his wife and really stepping up in the comments of these videos that you send me, talking about if they kind of like very Wahlbergian, very Mark Wahlberg.
If I was married to Peg Bundy, she would be getting it every night, every night of the week, twice on Sunday.
I bring her down.
There's just so many. Kevin sends me. I don't understand it. I don't mind it, but Kevin sends me these videos of Al Bundy, just clips from Married with Children and Al Bundy and his perspective on the world.
I don't know
and all
how
this
it
stuff.
first came to me, but just one day Instagram started showing me clips of Al Bundy and Married with Children, and I was like, follow, instant, and then I'm like, you know who else would love this? Vern, and I just keep sending them.
I fucking loved. I remember. I want to say it was 4th of July weekend. You know, FX is, they went on to do like, we're showing every Simpsons ever. FX has done a lot of these marathons where they just show like the entire run of a show. And the first time they ever did this was with Married with Children. And I fucking sat down in front of that TV and just watched like the entire run of Married with Children for like an entire weekend. And so there is a soft spot in my heart. There is a fondness for Married with Children, despite it being problematic. For me, the show gets very annoying to watch because anytime like Kelly or Peg or anyone walks on screen, like the audience just loses their fucking mind. And just turns into a bunch of werewolves from Tex Avery cartoons.
Video on YouTube by a user called Jose, where he watches all of different sitcoms and like makes a big video about it. And his Married with Children one is great because like with Married with Children starts like it's a little ribald, it's not your usual father knows best family comedy, and then slowly like 30% of an episode of Married with Children becomes about like ogling a woman, and like the episode has to stop dead for some woman to be like, Al Bundy, can you help me into these tight clothes? And him being like, oh, I wish I could, and like the audience is like tearing seats out, like fucking losing their mind.
I remember.
I wish I could fuck anyone else besides my 10 out of 10
besides my absolute
wife.
smoke show wife. God, I hate my smoke show wife. It's such a weird show.
I remember.
It's such a weird show.
I remember, like in my double digits. Like this was well after Married with Children had been like taken off the air. FX had done this, like big marathon where they showed like almost every episode of Married with Children. And I remember like it being an event. I remember being at like the doctor's office or something while my mom was getting some treatment, or my grandma or something. And I remember like the radio playing, like the DJ on the radio talking about like, tonight they're showing an episode on FX. They're showing an episode of Married with Children that was considered too raunchy back, a never before seen episode of Married with Children that fought, and like it was an event.
Full
that like
penetration.
this.
Yeah.
It's the one time
it was,
he fucks his wife.
It's like remember in the 2000s, like the legions of DVDs that were like unrated and uncut.
Yeah,
we put in all the stuff we couldn't put in.
Like Teens Gone Wild.
No, but like it was like Knocked Up, the full frontal edition, all the stuff we couldn't put in. Judd Apatow's Knocked Up. And then if you compared the cuts side by side, there's like 5 minutes of new material and none of it is like raunchy. Like it's maybe an extra pair of boobs. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure that my wife has a copy of Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and like on DVD. And I feel like the cover of that DVD, like the word like unrated is bigger than like the title of the movie.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It was
it's just
huge
like DVD, just like I remember there's this disgusting, gross movie called Road Trip with Breckenmeyer and Tom. It was the first time Tom Green was in a movie, and they've got like the unrated cut or whatever, and it's super gross because it's just like it's like literally just like zoom in on like women and like this,
well, like, all of those
in a
trip
shower or
movies
something.
are
It's super
just
gross.
Just horribly I didn't see Road Trip, but I did see Euro Trip. And,
oh god, that one's terrible.
And that one that one is just all of the like cruelty and misogyny of the 2000s.
Yeah.
Combined with also the like American chauvinism of like, these Euro freaks don't get it, but they got a nude beach.
Yeah, it makes those movies make like this movie's portrayal of Laura Flynn Boyle seem like a delicate passion play by comparison. It makes it seem like just the absolute most like upstanding, noble like piece of work you've ever seen in your entire life.
Showing like full dimensionality of the female experience.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it seem like Cleo from 5 to 7 or something. It makes it seem like 3 colors white comparatively to like Euro Trip and Road Trip.
It's something I think about, and it's something where I try to just like keeping like. I just try to keep it in mind, just like, God, like, we've been living in such an insane society for so long, just like how Eurotrip treats people, like, just like, what's that movie? This is not a 90s movie, not a 2000s movie, but also it fits. But that movie with Chevy Chase, like, Over the Rainbow, that treats like little
like
people
as
if they're.
I've seen that movie. It's the craziest fucking movie you've ever seen in your whole life. It's just like treats like little people like they are demons from hell. It's so crazy.
Yes, and when you live in an environment that's like like Warrenton, Missouri, or Johnson City, Illinois, where like there's not a huge range of diversity, and you see all the comedy and all the movies and everything that is like popular, that's in theaters, that's at the video store, that's airing in repeats, and it's all just like they're all from the point of view is like everyone except for the main character is a freak. Like when they operate from that standpoint, it's a gross terminology, and I'm sorry to say it, but like that's how they operate.
That is how they do it. Like, I think but Wayne's World doesn't necessarily belong in that same chaos. I think it has an affection for these weirdos,
right? Because the main character is that weirdo.
Yes, he too is an outsider. Yes, exactly.
He is that like. I don't dislike it, but it is a personal pet peeve for me, Justin Gurmroth, when a character is diegetically funny.
Oh, that's like a pet peeve. I like when they're like diegetically funny, because otherwise it seems like everyone else is a robot, right? Because I'm like, this person is making a joke, and like the other person is not like even politely smiling.
I don't know. I never like. Someone being funny in the scene, like, half the time just annoys me for some reason.
So when Wayne Campbell is, like, flipping over note cards that say, like, this guy blows goats, you're like, ooh, I hate that Wayne Campbell. He's making a joke. Just steaming.
On. We get it. It's funny.
It's funny. It's funny. No, I think...
This is reminding me of like one of the funniest things I've ever heard. It's something I think about all the time. There's an episode of With Gurley and Rust, a podcast, where they're not talking about the movie. Like the subject of the episode is not what's that Rodney Dangerfield Back to School. It's not. The subject of the episode is not Back to School starring Rodney Dangerfield, but they spend a lot of time talking about that movie because they didn't like the actual movie they watched.
Vern, there's like a 40% chance you made this same reference in the Nixon episode 1 month ago.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure that this is on tape in that episode as well.
I know I said it to you, but I don't know if I said it on an episode. But that like this gimmick of just like going up to Rodney Dangerfield, like, you're really funny. Have you ever thought about doing stand up?
It's
like,
yeah.
I that makes me, and this like the diegetically funny discussion makes me like, why isn't anyone come to Wayne like, you're funny in conversation. Like, put this.
He has his own TV show. Exactly. He is funny. He knows that. Everyone watches it because they think they think Wayne and Garth are funny guys. Sorry, Justin, to disagree with you so strongly, but
Justin, I'm right in the middle of you and Kevin on this about diegetically funny characters. I like that concept. I never thought of it that way. Wayne is diegetically funny. I like that.
Yeah, I think he's diegetically funny. People in the universe laugh at him. And I'm sorry, one last, Vern, you bringing up like the Instagram comments, the warriors in the Instagram comments of Al Bundy videos being like, I wouldn't have done Peg like that. I would have been so good to Peg. Yeah, it reminds me,
it's like white knighting, but showing off that you're the most like despicable
white knighting for a 30-year-old sitcom. White knighting for being a piece of shit scumbag. But it reminds me of if you rent like a movie or a TV show through YouTube, if that is like the venue that you choose to like instead of iTunes or whatever. it still has like the usual like YouTube comment system. So like I bought a episode of Miami Vice for the Julia pod, and like there are comments on that episode going like, "Oh, great episode, guys."
Oh my
Nailed
god!
it again.
Wow.
Man, I love this content. Please keep it coming.
Hey, you guys stopped posting in like 1996. Are you okay?
Buying Wayne's World on YouTube and going in the comments and being like, "Aw, Cassandra is so hot."
We've had a discussion about Justin not having the posters gene. Like, Justin does not like posting online.
Yeah.
And that's something I think about a lot whenever I look at these.
Yeah, whereas Vern and I have the posters disease. Don't
we have posters disease, but what I don't have but what I don't have and what I don't understand is I don't have the commenter gene. And so like whenever I see like a comment thread and I see people like, you know, like, "Oh man, if I was with Peg Bundy, things would be a lot." Like I don't understand. Like I'm someone who like has intrusive thoughts that has to say them or else they leave their brain. And I'm just not a commenter. I'm not a person that, and I don't understand. Like, I can't imagine like buying an episode of Miami Vice on YouTube and being like, I have to let the chat know what I thought about this episode. I can't.
I did. I left a comment. I thought it was very funny. It made me laugh a lot to like leave a comment on Miami Vice. Good.
And you know,
like you got the posters disease. One chance left to go viral with it.
Related to the commenters, I can't imagine like, and I'm sorry, folks listening, if you have this, but I can't understand the commenter, and I can't understand the person that reads like Penelope Spheris is in the booth, and they're like, I don't find it and I'm gonna, but I don't understand that.
This is not a fun fact for me.
As
now
you
I'm
know,
gonna be
I'm a
looking for her
dork who
when I rewatch the film instead of focusing on the jokes.
As you guys know, I'm a dork who likes professional wrestling. And one of the things that makes me super sad about it's the thing that makes me super sad about movies. It makes me sad about so much of the art that I do enjoy is that, like, if I dedicated my life to these art forms, I still wouldn't see everything that I want to see.
Yes.
You know, if I just stopped watching everything else and only watched wrestling, there was still stuff that I would miss. And I don't understand, like, the commenters on things that, like, that people that allege to love wrestling, but they have to take time out of their day to be like, to leave comments like, "Oh, you think this match was good? You ever see this match that happened in 1996 at the blah, blah, blah?" And I'm just like, where are you finding the time for this? Where are you finding the time for this? I don't understand it.
Vern, that's how I kind of feel about SNL. Like,
oh really?
SNL which is something that I've just never showed up in my life. Like,
okay.
Like I didn't have, like, my parents watched it when it was starting, but didn't follow it at all when they like had me. And I didn't have friends who like watched it at all. Like, so hearing about like people talk about SNL in any era at all. Makes me like, I'm sure it was great watching it when you saw it, but returning to it or paying attention to it now when there is so much other art that I already have on hand that I want to reach out to instead of this one thing that might be good that one time.
Sure. I think there's like a best of capacity
like
where it might be worth exploring, but also like, I don't care if you ever get into Saturday Night. I certainly don't follow it these days. You know, I certainly am not up on new Saturday Night Live. Every so often a sketch comes across my timeline and I think, that was pretty funny.
Well, I actually wanted to ask you guys, what were your what are your guys' histories with SNL?
Sure.
Because it's much more extensive than mine.
Yeah, so I kind of told you like a brief, my sort of history with learning about Saturday Night Live, and then there was just this pocket of like being old enough to stay up and watch it before I also like started working full time during high school. So like there was just this brief little window where I like had the ability and time to watch like SNL, and that was Andy Samberg, and that was Bill Hader, and that was Kristen Wiig, and Jason Sudeikis, and like all Seth Meyers was doing Update, just like all these people that I just like thought, and still mostly think to this day, are just like really funny, brilliant, interesting people. But like, you know, I feel no compulsion to watch new Saturday Night Live. Like my most recent ex would like every week would just watch like here the new episode of SNL. I'm going to watch it, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to budget that in. But let me know if there's anything like really good that I should check out.
Yeah.
But that is mostly it. But you know, like SNL 50's coming up. Like if they do a big special, I'm sure they will. Like I will probably watch that. And I watched SNL 40 when that happened when we were at Webster. You know, it's like it's kind of this thing that like
SNL 40 responsible for Doom to You.
Extremely true, actually.
Yeah.
And speaking of Doom to You, there is a line from Wayne's World that I realize I basically put in Doom to You unintentionally, but it's in there.
Which one was it?
It's a Lauren Hayes monologue. I don't remember what episode because it's been a long time since I've revisited our little romantic comedy. But she says, like, something to the effect of, like, kill a man in the time of war, you know, they call you a hero, or, you know, like, it's something, you know, so they build you a statue or something like that. And I was like, and rewatching Wayne's World, and I said, well, that line I put in Doom to You, that's basically from Wayne's World. It's not exactly the same, but...
the sentiment.
I put some Ed O'Neill, who again is throwing 95-mile-an-hour fastballs in this movie, who is sinking 3-pointers, just like his very little screen time is just like he's hooping. But yeah, so I basically kind of stole that. But Vern, what about your SNL history?
I watched a lot. I've watched a lot of SNL.
Nice.
I've never like in the days of streaming services, you can see how much of a show that you've watched. You know, you can see if you can see like, oh, I've watched every episode of this. And so like there's things like I definitively know that I've seen every single episode of. But pre-streaming service, you know, as someone who was raised by TV, like I'm sure that like whenever I die and I get my life wrapped, where I'm in the afterlife and they tell me like how many times did I listen to this song and what my top favorite genres were and all this shit. Whenever I get my life wrapped,
your lifetime wrap,
my lifetime wrapped, I'm sure that I'll see like, oh wow, I had seen like, oh, it turns out there's only like 4 episodes of Married with Children that I've not seen. Oh, it turns out I have seen every Family Guy up until season whatever. All this to be said that like, I don't know if I've seen every episode of SNL that aired between like 1985 and 2003, but I've probably seen most of it. And I've seen so like whenever I was watching Comedy Central, like so many of the SNL that it was so much of the SNL that it was showing was your Mike Myers, your Dana Carvey, your Kevin Nealon, your Norm Macdonald, your Daryl Hammond, like that kind of era. So I've seen a lot of SNL, and I mean, whenever I was just a youngin', I was just I would watch this. All I watched was comedy. I was obsessed with it, and I think, you know, as I said earlier, I think it was me like, well, people think I'm funny, and I need to learn how to behave in public. So I guess this is my.
It was how you learned to socialize. You learned that if there was ever a wealthy dowager, you had to offer her some seltzer water.
Yes, of course. And I know I went out in public, I had to wear a little flower boutonniere, and I had to ask people to sniff the flower, and I had to spray them in the face. So I've seen a lot of SNL. It was a thing where, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever had this with like media, whether it be like you get very deep into a video game, you get very deep into like the run of a show, you get very deep into a franchise of films where like you've spent like 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours more with a piece of media, and then you go like, you know, I don't think I like this. Like, I don't know if you've ever at that.
Went through a lot
But
of
I-
anime that way.
Okay, I think whenever I stopped watching SNL like repeats and watching new episodes, something like that, I think it was like whenever I had this moment where I was like, I don't think I like this. And there has been like in this past couple years, there has been a lot of like going through and like picking out like the things that I remember from SNL and watching those, and like some of this stuff holds up. I mentioned in an earlier, I think it was the Nixon episode about Sam Waterston being in my favorite SNL sketch ever, and I never said what the sketch was, and it's a sketch that still holds up. It's the Old Glory robot insurance.
Yes.
The insurance that protects the elderly from robot attacks. I fucking love Toonces the Driving Cat. I've read the novel by Jack Handy, The Stench of Honolulu, and I think it's the funniest thing. So I've watched a lot of SNL, but I think there was just a moment where I was like, and there's stuff that, a comedy program that's been on for almost 50 years can't not entirely be like completely unfunny. There's still stuff that holds
there's gotta
up.
be funny, good stuff in there
Yeah,
somewhere.
they're throwing so much
And
at the wall. Something's got to stick.
And it's a thing where still to this day, and it's every time it happens, more often than not, that I'm bummed out that I got caught in the trap. But still to this day, I hear like, this sketch that they did on SNL is the funniest. And the most recent one, I saw this article about the newer at this time, one of the newer SNL sketches.
The Beavis and Butthead.
Two guys that look like Beavis and Butthead but are not Beavis and Butthead and keep getting mistaken for Beavis and Butthead.
And they don't know what Beavis and Butthead is.
And they have no idea what it is.
Because they were busy.
They've done this type of sketch before on SNL. There's a sketch where Charlie Day is the host, and he plays a detective, and there's been a murder in an apartment, and the detective, Charlie Day, realizes this apartment looks exactly like Jerry Seinfeld's apartment, but no one knows what he's talking about. And then, of course, like, I'm sorry to spoil an SNL sketch, the punchline of the sketch is the murderer busts out of room, and it's Bobby Moynihan, and he looks exactly like George Costanza. They've done this sketch a lot where it's like people don't understand this very popular thing from pop culture and don't know it. But I saw this article somewhere that like this Beavis and Butthead sketch with Ryan Gosling, they're like, people like saying like, this is the funniest sketch SNL has done in a decade. And I've seen the sketch and I'm like, that one? It was.
I mean, it tickled me. It tickled me.
It tickled me, but like that's
tickled.
the funniest. And so
that's more
think
a
it's
damning. That's actually damning with faint praise. That's actually damning.
Yeah.
With, like,
Yeah.
this is the best they've turned out in 10 years.
If anything, it vindicates my stance.
There's still
something-
funny stuff on. You got people like Sarah Sherman on there who are still like,
yeah,
trying tooth and nail to like really put actually like funny, different sort of stuff on SNL. But I think at this point,
It's a
it's
thing
run by
where-
like an ancient miser who doesn't know what comedy is anymore.
I think it's a thing where, like, if I ever went... I truly do think that if I went to an SNL taping that, like, I would have a religious experience. Like, I think I would weep at just, like, the production aspect of it. And I think it's a thing where, like, if I were to ever go to a live taping afterwards, I would never say a bad thing about SNL ever again. But it's just a thing where, like, there's so much... And there's a lot of stuff that I think is so funny, but, like... all the SNL stuff that really resonates with me and the stuff that I think about a lot is not like other people don't think about Spelling Bee with Will Forte. Other people don't think I don't think Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer occupies a lot of headspace for people it does for me.
That's a classic one. Or the one at the last SLC that I brought up that has essentially been deleted from the histories of like
Sunni Shia.
Will Forte identifying different famous Muslims as Sunni, Shia, and Kurd to like a musical beat. Right? Like that's one that's lived in my head since I saw it live, in 2006 or whatever. And has again been stricken from the Jedi records, right? It's just like no longer available. But like I believe it was culture writer Nathan Rabin who like watched I think like every SNL ever for some project and was like, the good seasons are never as good as you've heard, and the bad seasons are never actually as bad as you've heard. Like, it's all just it's a sketch show. It's a weekly 90-minute sketch show. And, like, there's gonna be some good stuff. There's gonna be some bad stuff. That's the nature of the beast. And, like, it seems like, as someone who recently clicked through a lot of SNL episodes for a game that we're gonna play probably here shortly, a lot of the records of old SNLs are, like, the 30-minute cuts or the 1-hour cuts, even on Peacock. Like, the ones that would screen on, like, an E or a Comedy Central.
Yeah, like rerun.
There's an episode that I've been so curious to see, but it apparently it played super well live, but it's not well liked amongst folks who had to watch it on TV. It's something I've been wanting to see, and apparently it's impossible to get in its full version, and it's an episode of SNL hosted by Francis Ford Coppola.
Right, where it all, like, falls apart, right? Like, it catches on fire.
Keeps coming in
shit.
And he keeps coming in and redoing scenes. I want to see this episode so bad, but and I'm sure I could find it somewhere. But I will say, all this to be said, I read the Live from New York, the oral history of SNL.
I want to read that so bad. I know I'm going to eat that up.
I could not fucking put it down.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like it was. I'm so glad that, like, it wasn't an opioid, because it would kill me. Like, I could not put that book down. I was obsessed, and I love SNL as like a star making vehicle. I think like, some of the funniest people in the entire world came from that show, but
yeah, I maybe like stuff that's in SNL's orbit more than I like SNL. Like, I like Conan or Wayne's World or things like that more than I like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler,
and Robert Carlock,
Bill
like a
Hader.
perfect example. Yes, exactly.
I think Chris Parnell is one of the funniest human beings on the planet, but, like, if you watched any SNL, you wouldn't see it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think, like, Bill Hader is very funny, and you can see a lot of very funny stuff he does on SNL, but, like, so much of his stuff after SNL or outside of the SNL orbit is, like, where he really shines. Kate McKinnon, there's, like, so many people I think are just, like,
Kristen Wiig.
Some of the funniest people on the planet. Kristen Wiig, but I for me, for whatever reason, I just don't think the show always does them justice. And I also just, like, I don't know, like, you know, there's a sketch I heard about. This is another sketch that, like, quote unquote, like, fell into the trap. I heard that, like, the Lobster restaurant that was on SNL a couple years, it was the funniest. And I'm like, a Les Miserables parody that takes place in a restaurant where they order a lobster at a, like, I have to see this. You know what I mean? And, like, and it was one of those sketches where, like, it's pretty good, but it's one of those sketches, like, what makes it funny is that, like, the cast is laughing, and so the people there watching it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, totally.
And so
or like
it kind of
the Californians operates on that same
yes,
the worst sketch
it reminds
SNL's
me,
ever put out. I hate the Californians, always have.
It reminds me of something that my dear friend Justin Germeroth said, and something that I think about a lot, and something that put a lot of perspective on things for me. And he said, NBC comedies are more fun than they are funny. And I go, holy shit. Like, you're so, like, we're having fun and we're having a good time and we're laughing, but it's not super, like, funny.
They're more about having a nice time with your friends on the screen and less, oh, I'm watching a program engineered to make me laugh.
Are you talking about, like, must-see TV? You're talking about, like, Will and Grace? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Whenever Justin
like,
was talking about it,
I don't know,
he was
talking.
When
How
Justin,
I feel a lot about, like, The Office and, like,
sure,
Parks and Rec, like shows that are very funny but end up lasting more because everyone likes the characters and less because the show is funny.
Whenever Justin was talking about this, whenever he said this to me, God, was it a fucking decade ago? When we were all at school together. When Justin was talking about it, it was 2013.
Wow,
it was Justin was Justin. You were talking about the late night with Jimmy Fallon. That's what you were talking about at that time.
My
but I
principle
think
still
it applies
stands.
Yeah, I think it applies.
Jimmy Fallon, I'm sure, is fun to watch. Like, he seems like a nice enough guy that can hold attention, but he hasn't made me laugh.
I watched a lot of Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, and I did enjoy it a lot. But I think the same thing happened to him that unfortunately happened to our friend Conan, where the Tonight Show started opening up, and they tried to make their humor more Tonight Showy, if that makes any sense at all. And I think
Or like Steve,
I
look
miss
what happened to Steve Colbert.
Yes.
Like,
I miss
Taking
I
over
miss
that
that
show
time.
erased any edge and any unique insight he ever had as a comedian.
Yeah.
I love Stephen Colbert. He did an episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend that I think about, that really helped me a lot, and I think about a lot. I really like that man. I really find him as I love listening to interviews with that man. I think he's super interesting. It was very nice to me as a young person who thought like they wanted to be a comedian when they grew up, to hear that Stephen Colbert was also Catholic. I'm like, okay, cool. Catholics can be funny. Great.
I mean, in comedy, you're not unrepresented.
Well, at the time, as a young person,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But anyway, I think Stephen
I'll
Colbert
never
is
be
super
Jewish enough
interesting.
to be funny.
Yeah, I was about to say Catholics are the Jews of Christians.
Yes.
That's an interest. Okay, but I like that. I'll take it, I guess. I think
welcome.
Stephen Colbert is a super interesting person. I mentioned him earlier when I was talking about that Daily Show line. We care about drugs as much as the next show, an SNL rerun. He's hilarious on the Dana Carvey show. I think Stephen Colbert is so funny.
Strangers with Candy.
But now he's his like now anymore because of the late show. To me, he exists more as an interesting person than he does as a funny comedic performer.
Right. It was kind of shocking watching like Girls 5 Eva, a month ago, and seeing like Stephen Colbert pop up in a funny supporting role as a character, and I was like, yeah, I forgot he had this engine. I forgot he like could do funny characters, and not just like kind of semi become the guy he was playing on TV. In the past decade, like somewhat absorb the Colbert into the Colbert.
Well, no, I feel like he became like a watered down Jon Stewart, like a guy making political comments, but with none of the like blowhard. Like the joke is that Colbert's wrong, like.
Yeah.
Colbert is playing Steve Colbert is playing the fool on the Colbert Report. He's a parody of Fox News Republicans.
Right.
But on the Late Show, he's just Steve Colbert. He's Steve Colbert, a like pretty well-meaning Catholic Democrat.
Right. Who's gonna pretty soft hand, any major issues and things
exactly.
like that.
Like, listen, man, you gotta get vaccinated. I'll do a chorus line with like Rockettes dressed as vaccines because you gotta get vaccinated. And Trump, that guy's a knucklehead.
He is a knuckle. I mean, to be fair to Stephen Colbert, Trump is a knucklehead.
He's a genuine 10 out of 10 bozo.
On the Pinocchio meter, I give him 5 noses.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He's got
Pinocchio.
5 fibs.
Oh man, this is something for way later on in the future, but there's been twice in my life where I've contacted a medium. And via contacting a medium, 4 movies have come up. 2 people from beyond the grave has come into my life and recommended movies to me. And there's been 4 movies I've been recommended to watch from mediumships. And I watched the 3rd of those 4 the other day, and it was Pinocchio, and it fucking unzipped me emotionally.
Wait, which one?
The Disney animated Pinocchio, right?
The original,
Okay.
the second,
The Robert
second
Zemeckis
Disney,
remake, right?
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the one that you want.
the second feature film ever made by Disney, and so whenever Kevin brought up Pinocchio, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
It seems like we're getting farther and farther away from my opportunity to do this, so I'm going to do it right now.
Take it.
Do movie speculation. Movie speculation. This is all. I wish I could say it was trivia, but I did the research. I can't find anything that verifies it. But I was my eyes went boom popped out of my head a little bit whenever we started watching Wayne's World, because whenever I saw in the opening credits Lara Flynn Boyle. And as I've talked about on the show before, as y'all know, been doing a very, very slow rewatch of the entirety of Twin Peaks.
This MF loves Twin Peaks.
I adore Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks changed my life, and I've been watching it a second time, and we just recently, on our very, very slow rewatch of Twin Peaks, it's taken a little over a year now, we just finished watching Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, the prequel film to Twin Peaks.
A lighthearted film, really.
A lighthearted, just a romp, just it goes down super easy.
A girl getting
Folks
ready for a
it
hell of a summer.
Yeah, but that movie has a little bit of notoriety to it for a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons is the cast that did not return for Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and one of the cast members from the original run of the show that did not come back is Laura Flynn Boyle. Laura Flynn Boyle, of course, plays one of Laura Palmer's best friends, probably her best friend in the original run of the show, Donna Hayward. And Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is a prequel to the original show. We can see all that we can see in living color, all this horrible shit that we've only heard about prior, and it goes down it's such an easy watch. And Donna Hayward is a big character in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, but she's not played by Laura Flynn Boyle, who we've seen in the the 30 episodes of the show leading up to that. In Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, she's played by Moira Kelly, perhaps most famous as the voice of Nala in the Disney Lion King.
Oh.
But I
didn't think they could find a more Irish name than Laura Flynn Boyle, and then they found Moira Kelly.
Moira Kelly.
They trolled the Inish Moor to find someone who has.
This is my daughter, Smiling Eyes.
Smiling Eyes. But I got curious and I looked it up. Both Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me and Wayne's World came out in 1992. They were both released in 1992. Movie speculation. Do you think that Laura Flynn Boyle turned down David Lynch and reappearing in her role as Donna Hayward in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me so that she could be in Wayne's World as Wayne's ex-girlfriend?
Stacy, the psycho hose beast,
it
who gets him a gun rack?
It seems to me that that's what happened here. That Laura Flynn Boyle was unhappy.
Does Laura Flynn Boyle return in Twin Peaks The Return?
She does not return in Twin Peaks The Return.
I think
after the
it's
last
possible that old LFB just maybe didn't like making Twin Peaks all that much.
There is, of course, this is a rumor. This is, of course, This is TV speculation. If you watch Twin Peaks, they really like try to sell you on Cooper and Audrey as being the hot couple of the show.
Gross.
But Cooper and
man
Audrey,
and a teenager.
a man and a teenager, and it never happens. And Cooper does say like, Audrey, or he's like, I appreciate your feelings for me, but this, he does say like, you're a teenager, I can't do this. But the rumor is, and this is all TV speculation, Kyle MacLachlan and Laura Flynn Boyle were dating at the time, and the rumor is Laura Flynn Boyle was jealous of Sherilyn Fenn becoming the bigger star than her, and she went to the show. She went to Kyle MacLachlan and asked to pump the brakes on the Audrey Cooper storyline, and so maybe it's a thing. This is all speculation. I don't know. Maybe it was a thing where she just wasn't even asked to appear in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and that freed her up to do. But I just thought it was interesting. Both these things came out in '92. Donna Hayward, Laura Flynn Boyle, is a big part of Twin Peaks, and she's not in the movie. But also because it's all shit done by David Lynch. It makes sense that Donna Hayward looks and acts like Moira Kelly, and then like this thing that happens to Laura Palmer happens, and then Donna Hayward wakes up and she looks and acts like Laura Flynn Boyle. Like, it works whenever your filmography is totally about like doppelgangers and different identities and thing. Like, it ends up working for the entire narrative of the show, and I like Moira Kelly as Donna Hayward, and I like Laura Flynn Boyle as Donna Hayward too. But whenever I saw Laura Flynn Boyle pop up in the Wayne's World opening credits, I went, interesting. And that's just something I had to share before it got stuck in my head.
Before you explode. A gun
Before I
rack?
exploded.
A gun rack. I don't even
gooning
own
on that
a
fact.
gun, much less many guns that would necessitate an entire rack. Remember that? That's funny.
Hi, Wayne. She was in the Wayne's World video game for Super Nintendo. She's an enemy.
Yeah.
She blows kisses at you.
No, that's good.
and
No,
it
that's
takes your...
that's good.
It's a true story.
I'm all for it. We haven't talked about the plot of this movie now that there is much of a plot. You know it. It's Wayne's World.
They get a TV show from Rob Lowe, and Rob Lowe.
Yeah, the conversation around it is more interesting than like what I knew this is what this episode was going to be. This is not where we go through it like beat by beat and break down the plot of Wayne's World.
Yeah.
But I thank you boys for going on this
lady at the
odyssey with
laundromat.
me. Anyway,
I was super happy to rewatch it. Nicole and I rewatched it a couple of years ago when we were living in Washington, because she was telling me about how much she loved it and how much she loved Cassandra. It makes me laugh. Something that like is a big part of my sense of humor is just like, I don't know how to define it, but like, oh, I guess this is happening humor, but like, it fucking kills me. It just fucking kills. I think it's so funny that like the bad Terminator from Terminator 2 also exists in this world and pulls Wayne Campbell over to ask him if he's seen this boy.
if he's seen John Connor, I don't know. A movie that came out like 1 year earlier. You know, like this is Terminator 2 is so fresh in the audience's mind when they're seeing Wayne's World on the big screen. Yeah, and I love that. I love all the multiple endings, you know, where we're not gonna let the movie end like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's do a Scooby-Doo ending.
It's funny. It's charming. It's funny. I love all that stuff. I think it's great.
It's funny stuff.
I think this movie has no right being good or funny, and yet it manages to be a lot of both. Nice. Justin, I know that because you didn't watch it a million times growing up, it will never hit you the same way. But I'm glad. Aren't you glad you now know a little bit more about our friends Wayne Campbell and Garth Algar?
I'm glad I got a better insight into my good friend Kevin Lanigan.
Oh boy! Oh, Justin! Oh, he's stonewalling me. He's cold shouldered.
No. I thought this movie was fine. Sadly, I
didn't realize we had Captain Picard on the
show. My life.
Movie trivia. In the section where Wayne Campbell says he wants to order the cream of some young guy, they had to edit that scene to be way longer because in 1992 that was the funniest thing a movie audience had ever heard. And it like drowned out the next 2 scenes of dialogue, how funny they thought that was. So they had to make the pause way longer.
Mm-hmm. Is that true?
That is very true. Movie trivia. This movie was filmed while SNL was in season. So twice a week, Mike Myers and Dana Carvey had to fly out to New York to do SNL.
That sounds
they flew out
exhausting.
They flew out on Wednesday for the table read, and then they flew back to the suburbs of Chicago to keep shooting, and then they flew back to New York on Saturday to do Saturday Night Live.
God, that sounds like that's it reminds me of Spice World,
Mm-hmm.
where they were like working on the soundtrack while filming the movie.
Yeah.
Also, Justin, I loved your answer. I didn't realize we had Captain Picard, the ultimate diplomat, here on this show. Whenever Justin
Mr.
said,
Worf, I found Wayne's
in...
World underwhelming.
But I feel that watching it with you has brought us closer.
Commander Data, I appreciate getting to know my friend Captain Moore. Just
swing.
Wow, I thought sure that like Wayne's World was an off-season SNL sketch. It's probably from this that they learned, like, well, let's not do that
Let's
again.
not ever do that again. The Ladies' Man will be filmed between seasons. Mm-hmm. Tim Meadows will get a nice, cushy schedule when starring in The Ladies' Man. One hopes.
That we kind of touched on this. Have you guys watched a lot of the other SNL films?
No.
Or
I
think I've seen every single one of them.
There's a bunch that I missed, because like I didn't have Comedy Central where like most people saw Superstar or The Ladies Man. I've seen Night at the Roxbury 100 times. This is a much better movie than Night at the Roxbury, I think, both at the time and upon rewatch. I've seen MacGruber 100 times. I fucking love MacGruber. I eat that shit up. I even watched I was the one guy who watched MacGruber, the TV show, on Peacock.
I'd love to see it, but I'm not going to get a streaming service just to watch
I
it.
get
I'd
that.
love to
I
see
think it'd be
it.
worth getting for like a month and just watch the 8 episodes of MacGruber. Free trial Peacock and then just watch it. Because I thought it was really good. I don't think it had any right to be that good. I thought it was really good.
I think I've seen every single one of those SNL movies.
Goddamn.
I think
You're so brave.
Even like Stewart Saves His Family.
Jesus
like I've
Christ.
seen that a couple times.
Jesus Christ. You're a very strong man, Vern.
They
stopped making these. They just like
They made one. They made one last year. Please don't destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's just like
Yes.
a team. They just like took some SNL cast members and made a movie. It's not like they didn't make a Target Lady movie. It's not quite the same thing.
Oh
Not
right,
yet.
they didn't base a movie off of like
One of
a
their
single
classic
character.
sketches. Yeah, like the seltzer sketch by Please Don't Destroy. They're drinking desk flavored seltzer. They
What?
didn't make that a movie.
What would the SNL movie be? Like if you're going to like do an SNL, like what would it be?
I don't know
Would
enough
it be the two
about
guys
what's happening on there
who are
now.
mistaken for Beavis and Butthead?
They came close with Kyle Mooney. There's that comedian character Kyle Mooney used to play on SNL, like a pathetic, like Andrew Dice Clay ripoff. They had talked about making a movie out of that. A character who almost always ended up on the dressing room floor. Like, never, like, actually made it on air.
Oh.
Well, he did make it on air several times, but he had a lot of deleted sketches that were deleted after dress rehearsal on Friday. But, yeah, that was the last time I heard anything like that. I don't know enough about current SNL to tell you, like, who the recurring characters are. I have no idea. The last time I knew any recurring characters would be like, oh, are we gonna make a What Up With Dat movie with like Kenan Thompson and Jason Sudeikis?
So the Coneheads were not on SNL when the Coneheads movie came out.
Yeah, long after.
Are there any SNL like things that exist between Ladies Man and now? Things that exist between Ladies Man and MacGruber or MacGruber and now that you're like, this is the Californians a movie?
Absolutely
Like-
not. Absolutely not.
No.
I do.
I think you could do something out of Dunice.
Yeah, the Lawrence Welk show riff. I think
okay.
it's not that I want to see Justin Timberlake much these days, but like they did those trilogy of songs as like the Dick in a Box guys. You could probably make like a fake, music documentary about the Dick in a Box guys.
Well, we already kind of got that with Popstar.
With Popstar, right, which is better than that movie would have been. So, like, I'll take Popstar 9 times out of 9 in that regard. What?
Oh, I forgot about the S. And I will say, like, I remember seeing "I'm on a Boat" live whenever they aired that live, and it did it did feel like hearing Sgt. Pepper for the first time.
Things had
"Oh my
shifted.
gosh."
I remember seeing both Lazy Sunday and Dick in a Box live and being like, the world is different now. The winds are changing. It's we're not coming back from this. We are now in a post Dick in a Box world.
I think the benefit of like I do know Lonely Island. Like I didn't follow SNL, but I did follow Lonely Island because I think since it was like a digital short series rather than like live sketches, it was more readily available online.
Yeah, those were just like those music videos were just up on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like very soon after or even at the same time. So it was like they were in a way like bigger than the SNL apparatus.
Yes.
And don't need context of this is a sketch on a TV show.
Right.
It's just like this is a funny music video about coming in your pants. This is a funny music video
about
coming
throwing
in your
it on the
pants.
ground.
Yeah, throwing stuff on the ground, having a boombox, and the power of having a boombox. Yeah, that was big. That was powerful. Well, thank you both for talking about Wayne's World. I did prep a little game for this episode. Would you like to play a game?
Sure.
I remember that.
Would you like to play a game? Okay, great. I'm gonna get some water and fix my allergies real fast. Talk amongst yourselves. That was an SNL
funny
reference.
callback. Funny
SNL
callback.
reference.
Let's see here. I don't know. I thought Toonces the Driving Cat was funny. The guy who wrote that sketch, who wrote like the Deep Thoughts, he wrote this novel called The Stench of Honolulu, and it's so funny because it's like every sentence is either a joke or a setup for a joke, which the next sentence will be, and it's just like a series of jokes that have a plot and drive a plot forward. The first line of that novel is something to the extent of like, when my friend Don offered me a free, all expenses paid trip to Hawaii, I said, sounds pretty good, but what's in it for me? And like, it's something where like, God, I do think about like, an Apocalypse Now parody, about, like framing The Stench of Honolulu as an Apocalypse Now parody. I think that would be a very funny movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to love SNL and I used to love this comedy stuff, but just things have changed, things are different,
Yeah,
and I appreciate it
grown
for
up.
what it is. I've grown up. I appreciate it for what it is. We've done that embarrassing show on the same feed. Like, I love sketch comedy, and there's just not. I'll take whatever I can get.
Show.
Yeah,
That show that sucks.
it's not entirely bad. There's just a lot of regrettable things.
There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Some
There's a
of
lot
it
of good
holds
stuff
up.
though.
We never got our
Yes,
due. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Hush up.
Hush up.
It's a thing where like. It's a thing where it sucks because like I can't recommend it to anyone, but I think that like the final episode of the show I'm super proud of it, even with the gross stuff in it that I wish I could take out, but like I'm proud of it. So, but I can't recommend like, hey, if you guys want to get an idea of how good I am as a comedic editor, listen to this 2-hour-long series finale of a show with no context.
No context.
The show that is exclusively payoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go ahead and give that a quick. All right, so go ahead and listen to the entire archives, and then listen to this great comedic payoff episode. So I've prepped a little game for us here today. A little game I like to call "Who's That Not Ready for Primetime Player?" That was a "Who's That Pokemon" thing. In case that didn't scan. AKA the SNL game. So I have 5 questions, 5 rounds that we can go through here, where Justin and Vern will compete to guess who's that not ready for primetime player. Each round will feature a gimme. So I will give you the season, the years, and what that person is doing in SNL's famous opening credit sequences, which are usually like scenes from New York, briefly featuring the cast member. There are optional hints that each player can unlock in each round. You'll each take turns guessing, and you can choose to unlock for -1 point off the total. You can unlock a biographical detail about this person. For -2 points, you can learn a prominent sketch or position they held at Saturday Night Live. And for -3 points, I will tell you a famous piece of media that they are featured in. And so that's the way it's going to work. Do you boys have any questions before we begin?
I still don't think I understand the game, so we'll hold my hand. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Don't you worry.
We'll get there.
I get the game, I
We'll
just
get there.
don't think I'll be good at it.
Well, it's not about SNL knowledge, and all of these people, I guarantee you, these 5 people I've selected are Justin, people that you are familiar with.
Okay.
I did not. There's no Charles Rocket on here. There's no Al Franken on here.
Well,
There's
see,
no
it's
Victoria
ironic.
Jackson.
I actually know both of them.
Well, and Justin knows Al Franken, but he knows his political.
Yeah,
career.
Yeah,
No,
Justin knows
I
Al.
was a huge
Justin's
fan
a fan of
Lies
Al
and the Lying
Franken's
Liars Who
candid
Tell 'Em.
photography. But yes, but
He got sued over that subtitle. He said a fair and balanced look at the right, and he got sued by Fox
Yes,
News.
he
over
did.
that subtitle.
Yeah, he had an extensive chapter in like the newer edition about that.
right. Well, fine. There's no Victoria Jackson. There's no Jan Hooks. All right. I'm not trying to trick you here, Justin. But Justin, I will let you, as someone who's kind of at a disadvantage in this game, you will get the first option to take a guess.
All right.
So our first person, very famous. This opening credit segment is pulled from season 3, which is 77 to 78. Okay. I pulled it specifically from an episode hosted by O.J. Simpson.
Sure.
What this person does in the opening credits is there's a big billboard of his name in lights, and he looks at it, and then he takes a big drink from a bottle of alcohol in a paper bag. So, Justin, you can either take a guess or reveal a clue and then take a guess.
Bill Murray.
Incorrect. Vern.
Okay.
This sounds like Belushi.
Incorrect. Justin.
Okay.
I'd like to unlock non-SNL thing they've done.
All right. So, they are in the film Pearl Harbor, directed by Michael Bay.
Dan Aykroyd.
Correct. Justin is on the board with
Oh, you're right.
4
You're right.
points.
I think I referenced that in an earlier episode.
Yes, because we were talking about Dan Aykroyd getting nominated for Best Supporting Actor in
Driving Miss Daisy.
and you thought it might have been Pearl Harbor. And you know what? I saw the silhouette of a guy drinking booze in front of a sign, but I was like, I can't remember who it is. And so I just like, well, who's the one who's most famous for drug and alcohol problems? Belushi.
Well, no, but
Exactly.
who's the one who sells his own liquor?
It's true. It's a good point.
Oh,
Crystal-
you're right.
Crystal
Crystal
Skull
Skull
vodka.
vodka. Yeah. Do you think he was drinking Crystal Skull vodka out of that?
Oh yeah, he got it through. I'm sure he got it through
Through one of his time
portal. Time
portals.
portal.
Yeah, because of his connection to the other side. All right. Well, Justin is on the board with 4 points. We move on to subject number 2. This is taken from season 10, which ran from 1984 to 1985, specifically from an episode hosted by Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. This opening credits kind of has a different feeling than the rest of them. It's on like a miniature cartoon New York City, and all the cast members are like giants among. It's really cool. I'd never seen it before.
Nice.
I thought it was like really good, and like I'll tell you
that's
more
fun.
about who's in it after we guess. So I don't want to eliminate any choices. But this person is sitting in Yankee Stadium as if it is a big bathtub and is washing themselves with a bar of soap and a big brush. And Vern, the first guess or first clue reveal is yours.
Is it's got to be Billy Crystal, right?
It is not Billy Crystal.
It's not Billy Crystal.
It is not
wow.
Billy Crystal.
The
Billy
guy who's
Crystal
obsessed with baseball.
Billy Crystal is in this opening credit sequence. He is sitting in Times Square watching a big billboard like it's a TV. And he's on the TV and he's screaming, "Get me out of here!" It's a cool opening credits. I'd never seen it before. This is not Billy Crystal. Justin, the ball is in your court.
I'd like to unlock a clue about a sketch they did.
This person hosted Saturday Night News, which was a temporary rebranding of SNL's famous Weekend Update news segment.
Was this Norm Macdonald?
Was not Norm Macdonald.
Okay.
Verna returns to you.
What are my options as far as clues go?
You can reveal a biographical detail, which I will tell you all of these details are someone that they married or someone they're directly related to, if they did not marry in one case. And the other one is a big project that they are in.
I'm going to have to ask for the big project they were in.
This person appears in the film The Princess Bride and is not Billy Crystal, who is also in The Princess Bride.
Fuck. Who is, bless America. I know Andre the Giant is not a cast member of SNL.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
And I know is he in Princess? I've seen Princess Bride one time.
Really?
Is it, expecting to be wrong, is it Harry Shearer?
It is not Harry Shearer, but Harry Shearer is also in this opening credits. He's playing with subway trains like they're a train set.
Is he in Princess Bride?
He is not.
Because Rob Reiner
Right.
also did the Spinal Tap.
It makes perfect sense where your head was at. Makes perfect sense. That's not it. So, Justin, the ball returns to you.
And he's in The Princess Bride.
He's in The Princess Bride.
Okay.
So, you might not know SNL, but I assume, Justin Gerberoth, that you enjoy The Princess
No,
Bride.
but
the
I,
film.
I've seen it a couple times. I can't think of who else. I feel like there's someone in it that I don't know the name. If it's someone, I don't know their name.
Okay, which is not going to help you.
No, it's not.
There is one clue still left on the
Who
board.
are they
that could be
married
revealed.
to?
This person is married to a famous scream queen.
That doesn't help.
Oh fuck! Damn it!
I passed to Vern. I
Fuck,
won't know
fuck,
it.
Okay, Vern.
Is it Christopher Guest?
It is Christopher Guest.
Who's
There's an
Christopher
episode of
Christopher Guest. He
what's
did
his
like
fa-
Best in Show and Mighty Wind and all those.
There's an episode of the
Waiting for
There's an
Guffman?
episode.
Oh.
There's an episode of the Chris Gethard show where they've got they're playing like what's in the dumpster.
The greatest
And-
episode of television in history.
and someone almost they're following the trail of logic and they almost guess correctly, and then the last second they pivot. I followed that Rob Reiner mockumentary trail all the way down into the wrong end and went Harry Shearer. It's
into the
Christopher Guest.
wrong cast
No.
member of Spinal Tap.
I meant who is he in Princess Bride?
He's the guy with 6 fingers
Oh.
who killed Inigo Montoya's dad.
I did not know what Christopher Guest looked like.
He doesn't usually look like that, I'll say. He does not ordinarily look like that man. All right, so Vern is on the point with 1. Justin has 4 points. We move into round 3, taken from season 18, which ran from 1992 to 1993. So this is the season that theoretically would have produced the film Wayne's World. Actually, no, this would be the season that followed Wayne's World coming out. This is an episode hosted by Tim Robbins, notably the episode where Sinead O'Connor ripped up a picture of the Pope on live on the air.
correct.
I really wanted
And then-
to find something from that episode.
You picked some notorious episodes with O.J. Simpson
On
and
purpose.
with
On
the,
purpose.
the episode after the Sinead O'Connor incident was hosted by Joe Pesci, and Joe Pesci comes out and he says, "Hey, if she had tried doing this while I was hosting," he said I would grab her by her hair, and then he stops and said I'd grab her by her eyebrow and give her a big smack, and the audience cheers.
Yeah.
It's really gross.
It's fucked up. It's weird. And Sinead O'Connor was, I believe, protesting the history of sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. Am I wrong?
Sinead O'Connor
she
was right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
protesting
Sinead
that.
O'Connor had it right on the money. And so anyway,
she was.
Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Going to Catholic school, being at a Catholic school, going to a Catholic church. There was a time in my life where I went to Catholic mass 6 days a week. Sinead O'Connor was right up there with Satan. Like our school did not like Sinead O'Connor over that incident. But she was right.
Yep.
She was
Sinead
right.
O'Connor was right.
Sinead O'Connor,
Anyway.
vindicated by the long arm of history. But in this opening credit sequence, this performer lays down a lot of ketchup on a burger.
Oh.
Just really fucking slathers it, and then turns around and gives us like a big smile. And Justin, you would get to go first here.
Give me a sketch.
Okay. This performer, in a series of sketches, very famously played themselves.
Oh, that doesn't fucking help me.
It does not, but very famously played themselves in a series of sketches.
Adam Sandler.
Incorrect. It is not Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Von Chuli.
Is it mine?
It's
Is
yours,
it
Vern.
is it Farley?
It's Chris Farley.
Oh.
Farley.
Vern gets
There's-
5 points, famously from the Chris Farley Show.
The one where he interviewed Paul McCartney gets referenced a lot amongst 4 of my friends.
Yeah.
You'll never guess which 4.
Not the ones in a rock band, surely. That is heavily inspired by the music of Paul McCartney.
By everything Paul McCartney's ever done. Yes.
My big trick, the way that I was going to trick you, is that if you asked a movie that Chris Farley was in, I was going to say Wayne's World, even though it features many other SNL cast members. That's where I was being tricky, but it didn't come to that.
Tricksy, mischievous.
So Vern has 6 points. Justin has 4 points.
Yep.
As we move into question 4, only 2 questions remaining. This is from season 26, which ran from 2000 to 2001. This is an episode hosted by Laura Flynn Boyle from Wayne's World.
And from Twin Peaks.
This opening credits sequence is kind of all themed around the actors at or going to a club. And this performer, this not ready for primetime player, is club ready, headed down the stairs of the subway, then stops to give us a nice look and a nice close-up. And Justin, it falls to you again.
All right.
I remember this credit
I'm
sequence.
sticking with what works. Tell me what not SNL thing they've done.
They had a prominent role in an SNL spin-off that became both a movie and a TV show.
That became a movie and a TV show?
Yeah, it became
An
a movie
SNL spinoff that became a movie and a TV show.
and a TV show.
And at what time period was this?
This season ran from 2000 to 2001.
And a TV show.
Movie and a TV show.
What the fuck? SNL TV show.
Yeah. Full spin-off, like a sketch became a TV show. It's not like Conan.
No, I can't think of who was in SNL in this time period.
This is a little earlier than I thought they were on the show. But, I say just take a guess of anyone that you might know.
Lorne Michaels.
It is not.
They should put
Lorne
him.
Michaels.
They should put him in the opening credits.
I
They
agree.
Should put Lauren.
Yeah.
Watching over his city.
Mm-hmm. They just put up the dummy of the Crypt Keeper as Lorne Michaels.
Yeah, I learned all kinds of stuff, like watching all these like clips, just like clicking around for like what would be good episodes to pull from. Like New York Mayor Ed Koch hosted SNL while he was mayor. Like I learned all kinds of stuff from this journey. I think I'm gonna end up watching a bunch of old SNL. Is what's gonna happen. Vern, it is your turn.
I am fucking like just searching through my memory banks. What SNL sketch got spun off into a TV show? And I know this is incorrect, but the only thing that like popped in my fucking brain was the cartoon The Misadventures of Ed Grimley.
If you can believe it, it's not that.
And that was taken from but that was SCTV. I don't think Martin Short was Martin Short. Whenever Three Amigos came out, SNL was hosted by Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Chevy Chase.
Martin Short is in that big Cityscape opening credits, so I believe he was on SNL for at least one season.
I didn't know he was a cast member.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too. He answers a big phone that's the size of a building.
I remember having a Ed Grimley pull string doll, and as a adult,
that sounds completely haunted.
It was. The voice box got fucked on it, and his hand came off, and it was really gooey. And I just, as an adult, I'm like, what the like? Who was the I guess I was the market for the Ed Grimley doll.
Yeah,
but I probably had the only one. And God, I'd love a Pee-wee, one of those Pee-wee pull string dolls. Anyway, I'm killing time because I'm like, what the fuck?
You want another clue, babe?
What are the available clues?
You could learn who they're married to, or you could learn a SNL sketch that they appeared in.
And I'm sure you're going to be Regis Philbin and give me the sketch they appeared in, but not the one that was spun off into a TV show.
They are not in the sketch that was spun off into a TV show.
What?
They do not generally appear in that sketch.
And this was 2000s, and it was hosted by Laura Flynn Boyle?
That's correct.
Who, which lifeline do I... Which, sketch? Give me a sketch they were in.
A prominent recurring sketch that they were in. They hosted a regional New York talk show.
And you gave Justin a hint, correct?
Yes.
When he asked for it, yeah.
Yeah. That's the hint about them being in a movie and TV show
Movie and
spinoff
TV
of
show.
the same sketch.
I can tell you. I can tell you
I
the
see.
name of the sketch was called Bronx Beat. Happened many times on the show.
No,
I don't know if that would help you at all. Okay. Well,
And they are coming up out of a subway.
they're going down into the subway on the way to
Or
the
got
club.
into. They're in Bronx Beat.
They did this a number of times, and I remember being mystified by it because I was like, "What is the Bronx?" You're assuming I know what that is.
Sherry O'Terry.
It is not Sherry O'Terry. Right era. It is not Sherry O'Terry.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Okay. Justin, returns to you.
Who are they married to, and or who are they related to?
They are married to a very famous film director.
Doesn't help.
God damn it.
Did you get it, Vern?
Yes.
Is it
Okay.
Bill Hader?
It is not Bill Hader.
Cool.
Vern?
It is Maya Rudolph.
It's Maya Rudolph.
Oh.
Correct. Mrs. Paul Thomas Anderson.
I'm a stupid person and I have to I'm sorry everybody. I'm sorry listeners. I have to think and I always want to say Maya Angelou. And it's not Maya Angelou, it's Maya Rudolph.
It's not Maya Angelou. It's
What?
Maya Rudolph.
What's the spinoff? What is it MacGruber?
MacGruber.
Oh, of course. Okay. I was thinking like
The
when you-
aforementioned MacGruber.
when you say an SNL sketch got turned into a show, I was expecting like, was there a sitcom? Was there, you know what I mean? Like
I do know
did
what
the
you mean.
Spartans, did the Spartan cheerleaders have a show that got canceled after one episode?
No, it was
Like-
one. It was one property that became both a TV show and a movie, and it was MacGruber.
I used to have such a crush on Maya Rudolph
I
when
still
I was
do.
a,
It
when I was
never
a,
went away.
when I was a youngin.
So Vern has 7 and Justin has 4 as we enter the final round. It is still anyone's game. Mm-hmm. The final person from season 32, which ran from 2006 to 2007. The episode in question, hosted by Matthew Fox from TV's Lost with musical guest Tenacious D. This one is themed around a rooftop party. This person's wearing a hoodie, sees the camera, and then looks around to look for who the camera's supposed to be looking at, because it can't be them.
What non-SNL thing did they do?
They are the star of one of the films covered on this podcast.
Of one of the films.
Pulling up
On
the
this?
Movies for Babies episode
Put that away.
list.
Put that away. No, cheating.
Bob Hoskins?
We covered it on
Was
this
it?
show. Take a guess, Justin.
My God.
It's only 30 films, you know.
Yeah, but still a lot of movies.
No,
to
I know
keep
that
track of.
was a joke. That was
What? One of the movies?
God.
It's not Lil Abner.
Yeah,
It's not
if
Donkey
only
Skin.
it was Lil Abner. Then I could have got a shot.
Only.
It's not Donkey Skin. You know who this person is.
No,
Very prominent person.
I'm sure. I'm sure
We
I know
discussed it in
them.
this episode.
I don't remember the queen from Donkey Skin being Casimir.
I don't remember the old Toad woman.
The
I don't remember
star.
Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. Yeah, this is a star. I believe is top billed in the
Okay.
film.
Top billed in this movie.
I believe
Is it
so.
Will Forte?
It is not Will Forte.
Okay.
Right era. It's not Will Forte.
All right. So the episode is
Burn.
not Scoop.
That's
I
right.
just went through the entire Movies for Babies feed, and I don't recognize.
Put it away.
I don't know who's
Put-
the star of any of these movies.
Put that away. Vern, it's your turn. You can reveal a clue. Or...
They starred in a movie, and the clues I have left at my disposal are what sketch they were in and who they're married to.
Yes.
I've not had any luck with the sketches. Maybe I should ask who they're partnered up with. And
They're-
there's,
Are you officially asking for that clue?
no, I'm gonna ask for sketch. Definition of insanity.
Okay.
Same thing, expecting different results.
I cannot say if they necessarily invented a new type of segment on the show, but they definitely popularized a kind of segment that SNL was not famous for previously, and it blew up and became bigger than the show.
Are we talking about digital shorts? Are we talking about...
Oh,
have we
I think
talked
I know
about
who
any
it
of the...
is.
Have we talked about any of the... I know Kevin and I talked about Hot Rod an eternity ago, but that was on a different show.
Different show.
I can't... I was the Danny Tamborelli of that show, and I got brought on, and the show disappeared after that. I was the death knell for that show, and it makes me feel bad. And I'm sorry for doing that to my friend Kevin.
You had nothing to do with that. Unrelated.
A show that we talked about on...
Film that we discussed on this very podcast.
I think I have an idea.
And they're this... And it's not Forte.
It's not Forte.
Is it Will Ferrell
It is not
from the
Will
Lego
Ferrell.
Movie? No? Okay.
That was your guess. Okay.
Will Ferrell.
So, Justin,
Is it
back to you.
is it Andy Samberg from Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
Correct.
Oh, I always... I forget that movie existed. I forget that episode existed. I was working a toxic job at that time, and I fucking marched in a parade for 4 hours before we recorded that episode.
It's a pretty good episode.
I had this whole thing I wanted to do about Owen voice, and I never bought it. I forget that movie even existed. Of course it's Andy Samberg. Of course.
It's Andy Samberg,
so
who's, of course, married to
so
Joanna
stupid.
Newsom, who appears in a Paul Thomas Anderson film.
Joanna Newsom is going to be performing here in Utah very soon.
fun.
I'm excited.
Amazing. So the final scores. Justin has 6 points. Vern has 7 points. By the skin of his teeth, Vern Tooley has won Who's That SNL cast member.
Doesn't feel like I won, but thank you. Justin, good game.
Good game.
Good game,
Good game.
Justin.
Good game.
I'm sorry if that was torture.
No,
I'm
it
really
wasn't
not.
at all.
No.
very
It
fun.
was...
Thought
it
it
was
was a fun
just a
game.
thing where just like... When you were saying these, with the exception of the animated one, when you were saying these, I just kept getting just like... I was seeing these opening credits play in my brain at like 20% opacity. It was just this like blurry Gaussian blur mess, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, I'd recommend clicking onto Peacock and like checking out at least the like Christopher Guest one. I think it's just like a cool opening credits sequence. Like Julia Louis-Dreyfus is there. She's wearing like a Maryland dress, and then she blows away.
Oh, neat.
It's fun. I really liked it as a feat of design. I can't wait to get there after 10 seasons of SNL. Well, thank you for playing my little game.
Yeah.
I can't, the little games are like the parody songs. I never promise them, but if one strikes me, I do try to whip something up. I did not whip up a parody of the Poke Rap about SNL cast members. That time was just not available.
That sounds like a feat of diminishing returns.
Yeah, I bet that would get old pretty quick.
Gotta cast them all SNL. Gone.
Yeah, that would have been good, but it would have been like Radner Sadiq is Belushi guest. Yeah, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot of work to try and find like slant rhyming SNL cast members. It just would have been more effort than it would ever.
Catherine O'Hara. Catch him.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Right. But that's not what we're doing. So why don't we tell the people what we're doing next on a little show called Movies for Babies that they've come to know and love. Folks at home, we so enjoyed doing our little Christmas potluck, our little Christmas gift exchange of different specials, that we kind of wanted to do another one that's like off season, not limit ourselves to the parameters of them being Christmas specials. So we're going to do a little Christmas in June and exchange non-Christmas specials with each other, for each other to watch. So that's going to be another grab bag next time. Do you boys have your selections ready to go?
I do.
I believe so.
All right. Well, who would
Regretfully.
like to go first?
Well, let's not
I
all
can
go
go
charging
first.
at once.
Okay, I'll go first.
Not all junk.
What I have selected for you, running a total
Oh.
of 25 minutes, is a spin-off special of a Super Sentai action show called Kaidu Kaiji Jiban Great Explosion at the Monster Factory of Fear.
Great explosion.
Factory of Fear.
I will be sending a WeTransfer of the file because I don't know what form it could possibly be listed in otherwise. But this is a big special that comes very, very highly acclaimed. So I would like to subject you both and myself to it because I myself have never seen it.
Oh,
So
you're
if
going
it
in
sucks,
blind.
I apologize. I'm going in blind. I also want to watch this. It's been on my Plex server for a long time, and I've just never done it. So now, no time like the present.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, just a light shift in gears. It won't be noticeable at all. You won't feel any turbulence whatsoever. My choice is, of course, A Plumbing We Will Go, starring the Three Stooges.
Oh Christ! Oh Jesus! A Plumbing
Just a
We Will Go.
Just a slight switch in gears. Just
It will be. You'll feel a slight bump in turbulence, but otherwise it will be normal.
Right, okay.
Right as rain.
For me,
on the
I'm picking...
on the Three Stooges. Go ahead.
I'm picking a special that is actually very near and dear to my heart. I didn't watch it, but I listened to the album extensively as a young child, as a wee bairn.
Oh.
So I'm picking for the potluck Marlo Thomas's Free to Be You and Me.
Oh, I've seen this. Been a long time ago.
You and me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I don't know what this is.
I being raised by the Dish Network, I remember TV Land advertising that they're going to re-air Free to Be You and Me, and
1974, featuring such figures as Alan Alda,
MJ,
Henry Belafonte, Mel Brooks, Carol Channing,
Wow.
Dustin
Chris
Hoffman,
Christopherson.
Michael Jackson.
Wow. No one on this list canceled. Amazing. it's all people who are
Every
free
one
and
of
clear.
these people.
Everyone's super normal. Wow, Justin. Okay. Free to be you and me. I don't know this at all. 48 minutes.
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
It's
Goodness.
It's a special about how it's okay to be a boy and it's okay to be a girl.
Well, I support. That's good message.
Yeah.
But only a boy and a girl.
Right. Oh no, we'll get into it in the special proper, but it's a very interesting time capsule of what was for its time radical politics.
Wow. I love it. 3 extremely, extremely different selections,
Oh, boy.
but that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a fun time. I assume you boys, yours are just like on YouTube, probably.
Yeah, I'll
Yes,
send you guys a file proper.
I was going to say the Three Stooges have an official YouTube channel, and it is called the Three Stooges Plus, and you can view
That's
A Plumbing Will
bleak
Go
statement.
on the.
God.
Okay, and I will, of course, be transferring you a tasty file for both of your.
This
perusal.
episode we talked about how it was mean to cartoon characters that I grew up with because of the comedy I watched. And next episode we'll talk about how I used to hit people on the head with a hammer and poke their eyes out.
We'll get to talk about all the
What was
comical
bunch of
situations we find
knuckleheads
ourselves
taken?
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to talk about that time that, like, Vern, you were preparing yourself a foot bath, and Justin, you were preparing yourself a lobster dinner, and you placed the lobster dinner right next to the foot bath, and Vern, you'd hope he put his feet in the right bucket, but he didn't. He didn't. He put his foot in the wrong bucket. Oh.
Vern,
know
Vern in his childhood would carry around a ladder a lot, knock over someone, and then when he would turn to see what happened, he would knock over a second person.
Yeah,
Yes.
that happened. In the
Something
last
very
SLC.
similar to
It made
that.
me mad.
Something similar to that did happen IRL at our school that we used to go to. I didn't realize how big my backpack was, and I knocked over a chair, and I bent over to pick that up, and whenever I did, I knocked over another chair. And a friend of ours who's done art for this feed said, "Vern, stop moving. You're making it worse." So there is some truth. But what can I say? I'm a victim of circumstance. So I'm excited for the grab bag. Do we have a special name for the grab bag? Is it just
Summer of Fun?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we called it. I think I labeled it as like a Russian roulette at Christmas, but we could call it like a white elephant exchange or something like that.
Yeah.
Gift exchange. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever fits in the SoundCloud character.
The summer
limit.
potluck.
Summer potluck. Summer special potluck. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But that's what's coming up next, and then the rotation will begin again, and it'll be Vern's choice.
Already got mine locked in.
Holy shit. Do you want to tell us, or are you saving it for suspense?
It'll be more fun to save it for suspense.
Save it for suspense.
We'll save it for suspense. It's going to be one that everyone hears me say, and they're like, oh, of course Vern chose that.
Oh, boy. Oh.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's all good. And we've been talking nominally about Wayne's World for almost 3 hours. So I'm going to tell all our good listeners to have fun, have a good rest of your May. We'll see you in June. And Sphincter says what?
Party on, Kev.
Party on, Justin.
Party on, listener.
Swing.
Swing!
They got boners. A tenet of
No,
Mike
you
Meyer
need to
humor.
understand. Their cocks got
tenet of-
hard.
A tenet of Mike Myers' humor is people are getting boners. Everyone, like Austin
in
Powers,
public.
the Love Guru, Wayne, they all just like primal sexual beings that get that are unashamed of their own sexuality.
He's a horny little guy.
Yep.
And just boing boing swing. Bit are you Randy, baby?
I mean, if I
the little
too
metal
had
thing
the
going ding and the Love
opportunity
Guru.
to write in the script, Tia Carrera laughs at my jokes, I would.
Yeah,
God,
like
you really hate that. That really bothers
It genuinely bothers me.
In a way I can't understand.
Mike Myers, and there's Tia Carrera, and then Elizabeth Hurley, and Heather Graham, and Beyonce, and I too have never seen The Love Guru, but you're right. There's
Jessica
something
Alba. Jessica Alba is the lead of The Love Guru.
There's some Mike Myers just loves casting, working with women, where he just tells them how horny they make him.
But they also love his bits, like, and
And
not in that sense, but him like the fact that he does like him doing
Who
the,
is
like,
it?
oh, I'm going down an elevator behind a couch.
That's funny when he's pulling his underwears up into his butt. That's funny.
Who's the axe murderer that he marries? Who's the axe murderer?
Right, the one who married Tim Allen.
Is it Nancy Travis? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. That's the axe murderer he married. Yeah, Nancy Travis. Yeah.
I've seen it one time. I don't remember a damn thing about it. I remember I've seen it one time.
Here. I feel like I gotta give it a second spin.
He plays 2 roles in it. It's another.
He loves it. He can't get enough.
Yep.
He loves it.
Oh, Phil Hartman's in it.
Ooh.
Why
God, I love Phil Hartman.
Why does the Wikipedia article for So I Married an Axe Murderer has a tiny, it's like a paragraph about the Pentaveret, but I don't know why. And does one of the characters from So I Married an Axe Murderer, do they reappear in the Pentaveret?
Did someone accidentally copy paste a section from one Wikipedia page to another, and just no one is watching the "So I Married an Axe Murderer" page?
I think someone was like, there was one time. I know.
No, Vern is not kidding. It says "So I Married an Axe Murderer" is a 1993 romantic comedy black film, directed by blah blah blah. It ended up grossing $27 million, but has gained a cult following. A miniseries called The Pentaverite, created by Myers and based on the in-universe conspiracy theories mentioned in this film. I see. So it's
But then there's another on the very bottom of the page. There's another paragraph about the Pendaverate, and it reminds me of the time that us three were in college, and we were in the college improv troupe, and there's a time where we do this after you do the sketch, you give your commentary about the performance that you just saw, and someone raised their hand and they said, hey, I noticed that a lot of us sometimes miss the pop culture references, and so I want to tell you guys about WatchMojo.com.
You guys should go home and watch WatchMojo.com.
And that was his criticism.
Know all the references.
That was the criticism of the sketch, was that we should watch WatchMojo.com, and I feel like they're a Wikipedia editor now, and they came in and they said, hey, if you guys like Mike Myers playing multiple roles on film, you should also see the Pendaverate.
He plays multiple roles in that. Hey, do you guys like Wayne Campbell?
In my dreams.
Oh, Reagan did not like me laughing about the Pendaverate on the
Woof woof.
on the So I Married an Axe Murderer Wikipedia page.
Do you guys like Wayne Campbell?
Oh, didn't you
You
love
should watch Wayne's World. He's in that film.
He's a character. If you guys like Austin Powers, if you guys like Dr. Evil, you got to watch Austin Powers, because Dr. Evil is Austin Powers.
Guys, I love you. I have to sign off. I have D&D. I have D&D in an hour, and I need to make dinner.
We'll never stop recording. We'll be here when you get back. I'm not leaving. Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving.
I ain't going.
Bye, Justin.
But Kevin, great pick. No, it was a lot of fun.
Thank you. I'm glad you had a good time, even though you hate Wayne's World. It's your least favorite film of all time.
I hate it.
Ooh, I hate how funny he is.
I'm gonna destroy every copy of Wayne and his world.
I'm gonna log into the Paramount Plus servers, and I'm shutting it all down.
I'm gonna destroy your world, Wayne's World,
and your little Garth too.
Do you remember the PBS show Between the Lions?
I do.
About puppet lions that own a library?
Right.
Do you remember that they had a recurring section called Dwayne's Word about a knight who taught you words, and the theme song was Dwayne's Word? Dwayne's Word?
Yeah, that makes sense.
When you're talking about this SNL sketch became a show, the only thing I could think of, and I knew it wasn't right, but the only thing I could think of was that CG Lion show that was on NBC.
King of the Father of the Pride.
Yeah. And I knew that wasn't it, but that's
featuring Donkey from Shrek, but in the universe of Father of the Pride, starring John Goodman as a talking lion, Donkey from Shrek is an actor named Donkey who plays Donkey in Shrek. He's like, it's an autobiographical film.
Yes, I'm not. I have to go eat dinner. So.
No, you don't. No, keep talking about this.
Justin, I love you, buddy.
I love you guys.
You enjoy your
I'll
dinner.
realistically talk to you two tomorrow. Great recording, great app. Good night.
Bye.
Au revoir. Au revoir.
It's been getting so hot.